Hello and welcome to Book of Dreams, a Vampire the Masquerade story. My name's Brian from the World of Darkness team at Paradox, and I'll be the storyteller tonight. Before we get into introducing everybody, just want to say a big thanks to the fine folks at Fantasy Grounds. We'll be using Fantasy Grounds to do all our dice rolling, to maintain our character sheets, share fun photos of what's going on with everybody. And a big shout out as well to Be Bravo. You can catch them on Twitter at BEABRAVO, I'm pretty sure. They'll test that one later. B did our overlays and everything that make it look all very pretty. So before we dive fully into everything, let's meet our vampires, starting with Shelley.
Hi, I'm Sophie and I'm playing Shelley Bobson or Tragic Friday, depending on the era. I'll differentiate it with some glasses. So this is old 90s Tragic and this is modern day Shelley.
And we've also got
Malkavian Raver. Yeah.
The nameplate changes for those playing at home as well,
cool.
which is good.
Ooh,
Ginny.
nice. Hi, I'm Ginny, and I play Laurel Holloway. I am a modern-day Instagram influencer and Tremere Blood Witch in my spare time. So,
Max.
Hi, I'm Alex. I'm playing Max, who is the Nosferatu Sheriff of the Camarilla in Melbourne.
And lastly, but probably not leastly, Ella, or Karen, I should say.
Hello, I am Karen. As was revealed last session, I am very, very newly made. I don't really understand this whole clan business yet. I'm still getting my head around it, but I know a vampire, which, is new. And I definitely have children and a family, and I definitely live with them. But it's cool because Laurel has to look after me, and it's a bit of a suicide pact going on, so I've got a bit of insurance.
Yeah.
So if you are just joining us, Book of Dreams is sort of being told in two arguably parallel timelines. So Shelley's other persona, her nickname Tragic Friday, is kicking around Melbourne in 1997, getting herself involved far in over her head with some members of the now completely disappeared Sabat. In the modern day, we're mostly concerned with Karen, who was an illegal embrace, and we're not sure who her sire was. And it's unclear at this point exactly how, if at all, these sort of two timelines relate to one another, though there are some colourful characters that appear in both. So just quickly, maybe beginning with Shelley, or I probably should say Tragic, can you just give us a quick recap of what Tragic got up to last week when she met with the infamous Papa Black?
Yeah, so Shelley was kind of given a vague order by her Anarch sire to meet with Papa Black, who's a La Sombra, who's got some interesting ties to the Sabat and literally no other information. So she just dived right in and met with him, and then we met his little friend, Mr. Mirror, who I have no idea what he is or what he does, but his face was very spiky, and he took someone else's face, put it over his own face, and that was interesting. And then I thought that was it. I thought I was out, and then they pulled me back in and asked me to do a job for them, and that all ended in chainsaws and tears. And actually, I'm pretty sure it was not even the people that they wanted me to chainsaw. So that's been an interesting learning experience. But now I think I'm in. So let's see what happens. And in the modern day, a bunch of Camarilla people came over and asked me for a free favor, and then I asked them to bring me the man that sold me out in the first place and got all the shit started, Terry Maldonado. Yeah.
So, Max, from your perspective, what did you get up to last week?
Well, after meeting a brand new vampire whose sire we don't know, which is kind of a problem for the Camarilla establishment, we started to track the sire down. The vampire herself is a problem, but more of a problem is the sire running around creating random fucking vampires. So we went and found Shelley, who, because we knew it wasn't anybody in the cam ranks, so we went to the Anarchs and had a chat to Shelley. We also were put on to Henry, Papa Black, somebody who I was already familiar with seeing as I facilitated his tentative acceptance into Camarilla society. And having a chat with Henry, managed to find out at least where Terry's people might hang out.
Oh, sorry, I think we've just blinked out some windows here for a second.
Ooh.
Yes, Sophie looks like she might have had a connection problem.
We okay? I think we just some of you swapped windows. Okay. All right.
Oh
This is
no!
good. I know someone canked out, and our windows have shifted around. Give me 1 second. I'll get while I'm doing that, I'll get Karen to let us know what happened to her last week.
Yeah, what happened
So
to Ginny?
all this is quite new for me. I ran into some other vampires in the park only when I was out for a jog, and they sort of roped me in to help them out, and they were a bit surprised to see me, but nice to meet other vampires. Went on a bit of an adventure, and then realised that everything that I've been doing up until this point is hideously dangerous and will not only endanger my life, but my family's life. So that's really fun. I didn't think that I'd be finding out about other vampires and then straight into peril, but it's okay because Laurel has to look after me, and Laurel knows about most of the things that are going wrong. But, you know, I'm concerned. I worry about my children's safety, and this is a whole new scary world. But I showed Laurel my world. I introduced her to my husband and to, she's sort of seen my kids as well, and hopefully she'll help me. I really also want to know more about my sire.
A very stressful time, if ever there was one.
Oh, great. Yeah. I just didn't know there were going to be so many rules. You know?
Too many rules. And I suppose lastly, it's Laurel. How are you currently feeling as Karen's surrogate sire, as you've been ordered by Prince Victor Luth?
Yeah, probably maybe even more stressed than Karen because I've just realized what deep shit I'm in because my surrogate child has a family, and I guess ostensibly the risk of the Masquerade being compromised is supremely high. And I know that if something goes wrong, it's my head on the chopping block too. So I'm supremely stressed out, also supremely hungry, and have not told anyone about my particular affliction when it comes to eating. So it's a very, very trying. It's a very trying time for Laurel right now. Very trying time. You know, just trying to get there, and figure out who the sire is I can pawn off as much responsibility as possible. I don't want to deal with Karen's family right now. I just want to live to see another day. So.
And as we begin here, Book of Dreams, Episode 3, A Faceless Man. We look again ahead to some point in the future, some weeks or perhaps months from now, when the Bruja Anarch Terry Maldonado finds himself in a small room with people that we do not know, and he is telling a very long story from his book in which he writes everything. And he's now been presented with a document that somebody has tossed on the table. And he's opened it up and he's laughing because he's reading about a police report of several murders that took place in 1997 on the docks. Brutal murders which were somehow kept out of the papers. And Terry laughs at this and he rubs his eyes. You know, I didn't think they had that kind of clout. I suppose, like Papa Black, like he's known as Henry now, right? I think they probably put their neck out for him more than they had to. But anyway, that's my point was, this is where everything started to get interesting. Like with the heartbeat thing, you know. So Henry was saying it's a thin blood, no one really knows what's going on with her. I mean, you know, right? Yeah, this guy. Sorry, man, just calm down. But it was all about I told you the fire and the Chinese restaurant that Henry mentioned. And look, I know that this is like a tentative thing we got going on here, so I'm just I'm gonna milk this story if you don't mind. Anyway, why don't we get to the part where we figure out what the Faceless Man was about, right? Did we get to that yet? I can't remember. We talked about Mr. Mirror and how he ripped off someone's face and hung it on his own. That was pretty fucked, right? Yeah. But I don't know what's going on. So anyway, what's the next best thing? Yeah, what Chris told me about Victor Luth that night. We could start there, I guess. This was the next night, by the way. Make sure you write it down because you're not keeping my book. So it is the next night. It's Friday now, in the modern day. Laurel, you dreamt that day. You had a dream that you were standing in a valley between a giant grandfather clock and a hideous human-sized, and I mean the size of a human being, human-sized, anatomically correct heart was pulsing in time to the grandfather clock. And with every pulse, you would be spattered with hot blood.
Great. Love that for me.
Yeah. So when you awake
in
your haven that evening and you feel the blood of the Tremere bloodline rousing within you to wake you for the night, the sun having set, how do you feel?
Incredibly ravenous, incredibly hungry. Incredibly hungry. It's not great. It's not good. I think I've been shoving my appetite to the back of my mind because of stress over the past couple of days, but it's sort of come back in full force after that particular dream. So that's where I'm at.
Well, the last person you fed on was that Banu Hakim, Peter Naylor.
Yeah, Peter, that gross little fuck. Yeah,
yes.
That guy.
Yeah, had to jump backward through a loop to get that happening. So you're a bit more hungry than you would like to be right now.
Yeah.
What does your early evening routine look like? What you've certainly learnt a lot the night before. I would like to say you probably had some trouble sleeping, but anxiety doesn't stop the dead from dying. So what are you doing this evening when you rise?
When I rise, I'm probably trying to make sense of everything that I learned yesterday. So think of me as like that Always Sunny reaction image where the guy's got like a corkboard and he's like trying to fucking piece shit together. That's me in my studio right now, trying to piece everything together. So I've got my usual corkboard of like inspirational posts. I just ripped them off, like all the eat, pray, love shit, forget it. Like I've like handwritten notes and I'm like trying to pin together like Karen's life, like what her husband's up to, what her kids are up to. Like there's a huge question mark in the middle where it's like sire, and I'm just losing my mind. I'm really unhappy and I'm just really fucking confused. So that's where I'm at right now. Just conspiracy theories amok in my brain.
Meanwhile, an undisclosed distance from Laurel's unknown haven, Karen, you've awoken in your den. Unlike your surrogate sire, you're quite flushed this morning because you fed on Elise, your 8-year-old daughter. Luckily, it was the wee hours of the morning. She's young. She doesn't really remember these things. And the power of the kiss, as it's called, does cloud her memory enough. But sometimes if she does remember a bit too much, your newfound abilities allow you to sort of help her forget.
It's not an issue to help her forget gently.
Yeah, indeed. One thing that is a bit strange when you rise in your den this evening, you seem to have slept a bit funny. You slept on your hand, your right hand, and your middle finger and your ring finger are bent completely all the way back. And they look like they shouldn't be hanging loose, but they look like they're sitting there firmly. This is unusual, but so are a lot of the things that have been happening to you recently.
I have a lot of medical knowledge. Am I able to fix myself?
You could bend them back if you would like.
Yep. I would very much like to bend them back. But you know what? As Karen, a lot of stuff's really weird. It doesn't ping too much to me. I'm like, oh, that's new. Everything's pretty new. I'm just going to bend them back.
Cool. So how are you doing this? Just doing this one foul swoop, or are we doing slowly, or what would you...
Oh, well, as having a bunch of medical knowledge, seeing as, I did go to medical school, I'm just going to do whatever is going to be best for me, using my best judgment call, which I'm assuming is probably all at once.
All at once, correct. Now, Karen's a relatively fit young woman. She's got quite a lot of upper body strength. So when you wrap your hand around those two bent back fingers and quickly pull them forward to the spot where they should be, your hand radiates with pain as you realize for some reason it was this motion that broke the bones in your fingers.
So are they broken now?
Now they're broken. They weren't a moment ago. So I'm just going to mark a point of superficial damage on your health. Now you can make a rouse check if you would like to try and mend that. It won't be painful if you do not, but it's definitely going to be a little bit difficult and weird because your bones are broken in your fingers and they're hard to use. But you can.
Let's go for it.
Okay, can you just that we're looking at fantasy grounds here. If you could press that little rouse button down there on the right hand side at the bottom of your sheet, that will make a rouse check for us. So it's a fail. So you still mend that health. I'll do that for you now. But your hunger has increased to 2, which is nothing quite to write home about just yet. Most kindred hover around 1 or 2.
I'm all right. Worst comes to worst. You know?
Which is a bit strange.
I'm definitely thinking that this is a bit strange. Especially because typically pushing bones back into place if they've been like dislocated or something's happening, I shouldn't have broken them. I should fix the problem. So I'm definitely going to be remembering this.
It's a bit strange, yeah.
It's a bit strange.
Yeah. There's a knock on the door of your den. Babe.
Come in.
Okay, the door opens. Your husband, Zach, is standing there, dressed in his black slacks and button-down shirt. Very tight across his chest. He's obviously spends a bit of time at the gym, this guy. He's nodding. He's just, okay, look, I got to run out. Everything going to be okay for you? Hey, when I get home tonight, if you're up, can we talk? Because, like I said, like this whole you sleeping down in the den thing, I just feel like we're not connecting in the way that I'd like to. So.
Yeah, I'm really sorry about last night. No, we can definitely talk tonight. I do need to go out because you met my friend Laurel and she really does need some help. So I'm going to be out for part of the night, but I promise that I'll be back. Just stay in touch with me. I'll make sure my phone is on me and I would really like to sit down and talk with you. I feel like you're right. I really want to make sure that we're connecting.
Okay, cool.
I'm really sorry.
Thanks, babe. That means a lot. He leans in to kiss you.
I'm gonna kiss him. Absolutely.
Okay, on the mouth, or are you gonna give him the cheek?
You know what? I'm gonna kiss him on the mouth because he's definitely been having a hard time lately. He probably needs to pick me up.
Okay, that's good. It's nice. Anyway, he leaves. You can hear he's already put Elise to bed at this point. But Marcus is still upstairs playing his video games as his father leaves for work. Max, you rise tonight. You've had a weird dream too. Not a thing that you're used to having. You dreamt that Henry, the La Sombra, currently so under your thumb, had shown up to your haven door. But he was something different about him. He had dark sunglasses on, and he just had a completely different vibe. And you dreamt that you, unable to move, while he took you to pieces with a hatchet, laughing all the while. And you were motionless, completely paralyzed. It was like you'd been staked. Something that may have happened to you previously. Not the best kind of dream to have, but upon waking, how do you feel?
Wake up and it's disquieting. Because as far as I know, Henry doesn't have any powers like that. And I've never seen him use powers. I've seen other people use powers like that, but not him. It's probably just because he was pissing me off yesterday and he knows more than he should, which is going to have to be addressed at some point. But obviously that's just some subconscious anxieties around how much he knows.
So unlike the rest of our, for want of a better word, coterie, Max has obligations. She doesn't quite have the freedom to just wake up and speak to her mortal loved ones or spend time putting together a scrapbooking style conspiracy board. Max has things she has to do. What is she doing tonight?
I'm going to give Victor a call.
Going to give Victor a call.
Well, I'm going to give somebody a call who can speak to Victor and do the phone thing.
You go through the regular song and dance that you have to go through, and then you
I think
eventually do get a hold of Victor. It sounds like he's in a tunnel or something. He's just a bit like closed off in the sense that maybe he's somewhere with a lot of noise, or he's in a car, or maybe even on a train. He does train up to Sydney now and then to help with the expansion. Max, how can I help?
Just checking in and letting you know that we are still working on the surprise.
Yeah, all right. Yeah. I'm just about to hopefully take care of something that should give you a little bit of a pick me up with that as well. So where are you headed tonight? I know you met with the La Sombra last night.
Yes, yeah. He is proven to be as useful as possible, which, of course, not very, as expected.
Yeah, right.
I did get some information from him, though, so I'll be picking up Laurel and investigating that further.
Okay.
And I truly do hope by night's end, or at least by week's end, or very, very soon, I'll have a head for you.
Yes. So, how's the child?
Behaving.
Good. All right. Well, hopefully you won't hear from me for the rest of the night. But keep me abreast if anything goes on.
Anything I need to know about that? If it's connected to what we're doing?
No, there's nothing I'm doing that you need to worry about. Trust me. There's a lot of things to do to take care of this city, Max. So, no offense, but I'm not always wrapped up in whatever you're dealing with.
That's the way we like it, isn't it?
Indeed. Anyway, I've got to go.
All right.
He hangs up the phone. Shelley,
Mm.
Where are you and Chris when Victor Luth arrives unannounced?
Oh, Christ. I guess. Well, I mean, the NA is only weekly, so I guess we're not there because that was last night.
Mm-hmm.
We're probably at McGaff, innit? We're at my place of residence, and I am probably trying to convince Chris to choke down a combo of oxy and fentanyl and maybe some benzos to help with the withdrawals.
Convince. You and Chris has been in your life for quite a long time now.
Sometimes he gets these ideas in his head, like he wants to, not do that anymore, and he needs to realize that's not really his choice, is it?
Indeed. So tell us a bit about this place of residence. What do your digs look like?
I mean, it's utilitarian in it. I don't really need it for much except for eating and sleeping. I used to have a really fun place, back when I was clubbing and such, lots of fun decorative fairy lights and great props for things. But this is more like it's all business now. So it's very boring, very, I guess, one of those modern boxed flats that all kind of look the same. The ones that are just popping up all over town, especially in South Melbourne.
Yeah. So that's where you're at. So Chris is absolutely doped to his eyeballs sitting on the couch when there is a very forceful knock on your apartment door. I'm not sure if Shelley generally keeps it under wraps where she stays.
Yeah, I'd probably say so. I mean, I meet with a lot of strangers in my weekly NA meetings, so I probably don't tell a lot of people where I live, just in case. So that, it's a bit of a shock, and obviously Chris can't go and get the door for me right now.
No. He is.
Guess that's on me then. I'm like, it's a modern flat, but this is like they're in the building and they're at my door already, right?
Correct. Yeah, no one's buzzed. Normally they probably would have had to buzz to get in the building, but
Exactly. All right, I'm
maybe
gonna
it's the neighbour who just wants to borrow a cup of sugar.
I'm gonna take a cheeky peek in the peek hole then. If there's one. Yeah. What do I see?
You can see about this much of somebody's chest. There's another knock on the door, louder than before.
Well, I'm going to be like, can you please step back so I can see your face? Please step back.
Shelley, it's Victor. Open the door.
Oh, hi. Oh, I don't know what that's about. All right, I guess I'm going to open the door. Like, this is a very rare treat. So.
Okay, so opens the door and he pushes the door open and steps past you into your apartment. Followed by somebody that you didn't see a moment ago. A very gangly looking thing, like it's like a man, but he's wearing a black suit, but he's hunched forward and his face is twisted like that of a bat, and his hands are more like talons. Chris is absolutely fucking cunt-eyed right now. He's just like doesn't know what's going on. He's completely fucked. And this thing walks in behind Victor, who is sort of surveying your place. And without looking at you, he just says, "Close the door."
You talking to me?
Yeah, close the door.
Oh, get your friend to do it.
The creature looks at him and then forcibly slams the door and locks it.
All right, here we go.
Victor looks at you. He does not look particularly happy.
Oh, well, what's got your knickers in a twist then?
Where the fuck did... Listen, you and I have like an understanding, and I get that we go back quite a ways, but I think sometimes you forget that I'm the one tolerating you, not the other way around. Where do you get off telling my sheriff and my subordinates what they should be doing with their time? If you want to go start looking off to somebody like Terry Maldonado, who is, by the way, one of your fuckwits, not one of mine, the least you could do was do it yourself.
Well, you see, they just rocked up in a group, all threatening, like, asking me for free information. And honestly, like, pretty sure that breaks a bunch of the rules that we agreed on. And it was pretty much an act of war. So I let them off lightly and I asked them for something in return for this information. I think that's fair, don't you?
There's no such thing as fair in this little arrangement, Shelley, okay?
Well, I mean, they're off doing it now. Might as well let them.
I'm concerned my sheriff's going to be wasting too much of her time.
I mean, she's a grown girl. She could probably organize her to-do list pretty well by this stage. I think she can work it out, or she can delegate, right? You know?
Yeah, right, delegating, that's a good idea. He glances at the creature and then glances at Chris, who is arguably awake at this point. Yeah. The creature, we could say walks, but it's more like a scurry, a man-sized scurry across your apartment floor. Quite quickly Chris. Runs towards Chris and sits next to him on the couch. And the creature looks at you with all too human eyes and a really ghastly grin. And Victor looks back to you and says,
"Don't you touch him.
Oh, well.
Don't lay a fucking gross finger on him."
Well, I thought we were delegating things here. Look, my sheriff needs information from you. You know, maybe you don't. I forgot that the Black Hand did quite a number on your noggin back in the day, hey? But the point is, you know that I can't involve myself too much in what they're dealing with. So if you've got them out there looking for Terry, you can help them, or I can start doing some delegating of my own. It's up to you. I don't really mind.
Well, I mean, what exactly do you expect me to do? I mean, Terry is the one that has the answers, so it kind of helps us all, right?
Well, did you tell them that, or did you just tell them to go get Terry?
Oh, yeah. I definitely hinted at it. They probably figured it out.
This is all about undermining my authority. Okay, Shelley?
No, come on. I mean, you started it, honestly. You sent 4 of them to Nigath. You sent them to my...
So you want to do this? You fancy yourself like this little lunatic anarch queen or whatever the fuck's going on here? Is that what you fancy yourself? Because sure, that's the impression that I keep getting.
I mean, you were the one that wanted the truth. Remember that. This works for everyone.
So, all right, if you want to do this, how about you tell me? What way will you have it then? If you were in charge, if you were me, what would you do?
Yeah, I let them fucking organize their own time. There's 4 of them, and Terry's going to help us all if someone can fucking nail down our little worm. So just let them go. Let them do what they want. This is a waste of your time, honestly.
And so if I were you, I would just sit back and rest on my would-be laurels and just...
I'm sure you've got lots to do, hon. You're not sitting around.
I'm talking about you. This is your position, right? Is that what you're doing? You're just going to sit in here and dope up whoever this is? Hope that he doesn't get himself killed?
I mean, this is what I do in my house. It's my business. I'd love to see what you do in your house. Actually, I would not, ever. So, yes, I've got my own shit to deal with. I've been trying to find Terry for fucking 20 years or more. He's
slippery,
definitely avoiding me. Yeah, he's definitely avoiding me. He's not avoiding them. So I figured it's a good use of everyone's time.
All right, then. He glances over at the couch. The creature is just not there anymore.
Oh, good.
Victor adjusts his jacket and moves to your door, which opens by itself. He turns to you and he says, you know, Manic is coming down from Sydney. Your sister?
Oh yeah. And why exactly? Pray tell.
Well, remember, she's the one who made good choices where you made bad ones. That's why she's where she is right now. I'm just trying to figure out whether or not I want to tell her that you're still alive.
I mean, she's going to find out pretty quick. She's heading down here anyway, right?
Well.
And good choices is always relative. We know that.
Well, apparently he looks around almost disdainfully at your apartment. Good choices, right, Shelley?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you should definitely tell her.
Okay, then. I'll keep that in mind.
Honesty's the best policy, isn't it?
I'll always be honest with you. He turns and he walks out of your apartment and the door pulls itself shut.
Oh, I mean, I'm hoping that it pulled itself shut with the ghouly creature on the other side.
One hopes.
Yeah. Is there any way I can find out? I don't have like all specs, but I'm going to.
I was going to say, did you buy that point of all specs or not?
I didn't.
Sure.
I saved myself for some resolve, mate. But can I give it a red hot sniff around?
You certainly may. You can make a wits and awareness roll. Let me just set the difficulty here for you. Give me one moment, and I'll tell you to roll. Go ahead. Using fantasy grounds here to make our rolls. A success. There's definitely nothing you can see or hear or smell. Yeah.
All right, mate.
You sort of go around flailing your arms around, but there's definitely nothing you can see.
Yeah.
Max.
Well,
sorry, we're just going to slide over here. Max, what are you up to right now?
Oh, I'm getting in the car. I was told about a Chinese restaurant where Terry is likely to hang out.
The abandoned one that Henry mentioned to you?
The one that Henry mentioned.
Okay.
The abandoned one. I am also making sure that I've got a few supplies with me. A couple of empty beer bottles filled with gasoline and stuffed with rags and my lighter.
Yeah. Okay, that's good.
Yeah, just
and that's where you're headed.
Yeah, chucking them under the fabric thing in the boot. Can't be seen. Have to go really looking for them. I'm going to give Laurel a call on the way.
Okay. Laurel, where does this phone call find you? Oh, I think we've lost sound for...
No. No, Ginny's
Oh,
muted.
okay.
Oh,
No,
we
we're
can hear you
fine.
now.
We're
It's okay.
fine.
Yeah. So where does this phone
Awesome,
call find
okay.
you, Laurel?
Okay, I am probably pacing around outside, waiting for Max to contact me because I know that I'm about to be, I guess, grilled about Karen. So I'm waiting with a mix of dread, I think, and more dread and more anxiety. And so when my phone rings and it's Max, my stomach churns. It's awful. I feel terrible.
All right. So you answer the
get
phone?
you.
Yeah, I'll answer it. I know I have to. I can't escape it. So.
And what does
I'm
Max
coming to get you.
say?
You've got somewhere to be.
Oh, great. Yeah, perfect. Sounds good. So I'll wait here. It's fine. Yep. Yeah.
And then we're getting Karen.
Yes.
And we're going to pick ourselves up a Karen. And Henry was very helpful.
Yeah.
See you soon.
Okay. All right. See you.
Max is actually pretty kind of buzzing almost at this point. She had a shit dream. She doesn't necessarily agree with. Victor kind of put her on edge, but the thought that she might be catching up with Terry, who she doesn't like, and has kind of the green light to maybe punch him in the face a couple of times is pretty exciting for her. So she's pretty stoked. I'm also going to send a message to. I'm going to send a text to Shelley. I would have gotten Shelley's number.
Or perhaps Chris's number. Probably not Shelley's direct number.
Yeah.
While the Anarchs don't quite pay as much attention to some of the rules that the Camarilla have enforced, they are very aware of the Second Inquisition threat. So, Shelley, I'll just ask you, if you did leave Max any sort of contact details, where would they go?
Yeah, probably Chris. That makes sense.
Okay.
I mean, he's incapacitated right now.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
So what does
I'll
the message say, Max?
I'm just gonna say, might be a party tonight, and the address.
Ooh, interesting.
So
I should probably go there just in case they try and pull some shit. Yeah.
Well, Chris is excited for a party, he says, at least. Well, he's now very high.
The party's already here.
Maybe slightly anemic, I would say, if you were having a bite at the same time. Pretty buzzed out. On that note, so Max, you are going to pick up Laurel from an agreed upon meeting place?
Yeah.
And then your plan is to go and collect Karen together, or were you expecting Laurel to have Karen with her?
I don't know where Karen's place is.
You don't? Okay.
Yeah.
Laurel, this will pose an interesting personal moral question for you. Are you wanting to lead the Nosferatu Sheriff of the Camarilla to Karen's home?
Also, Laurel doesn't know my exact address because I made her walk in the dark there.
That's the other
She
thing.
knows the suburb.
She knows the suburb.
Yeah. So I'd be able to lead Max to where Karen, I guess, parked. And I'll just have to DM her on Instagram and let her know that to come out. So.
Okay. Karen, you got a DM on Instagram.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that there is enough food for my son Marcus. Elise is already sleeping. Marcus is playing Fortnite because that's what he does. And I will send him a message that I'm on my way out and to look after himself and to help himself with the food that I've made for him. And I'm going to get into my active way. And I'm going to go and meet him.
Okay. While Karen is getting ready, what's the vibe like in the car with Max and Laurel?
Yeah. We have to figure this out. We have to figure it out quickly. The expansion in Sydney is picking up pace, and I don't think Victor will be pleased if this continues on.
Okay, same page, really. You know, the sooner we get information about Karen's real sire, the better. Honestly, I just want this whole thing dealt with. You know, I just want to make sure the Victor's happy. So, on same page entirely. Same page.
So when
Laurel a bit nervous.
Everyone's a bit nervous, indeed.
Yeah,
Gosh.
Laurel's probably almost noticeably tense at this point.
Is she often like this would Max have seen her in this sort of mood before?
Probably not. I think Laura really tries to have like her big bitch pants on when she's hanging out with people that are important.
Mm-hmm.
So this will be probably the first time that Laurel might see her. That Max might see her quite fidgety. Yeah.
Karen,
dog?
where do you wait to meet Laurel and Max when it comes time for you to
I'm
leave?
going to walk to the car that I parked the night before.
A few blocks away.
I'm actually a few blocks away. I'm going to walk out. To
So
them,
you're
which
probably
I'm
actually already there when they arrive,
Mhm.
which is where we set our scene. Max, do you drive a black Saab? No, you're the hashtag no
Prius.
free ads, but Prius. It's the Prius.
No free ads.
No free
Hybrid.
ads.
A hybrid car.
Yeah.
This is-
A nondescript, environmentally friendly hybrid car pulls up
Yes.
on the in the quiet streets of the affluent suburb of Turak. Karen, you are standing on the street. You stood
I'm
on the
next
street
to my minivan.
next to a minivan, and the car pulls up with Max and Laurel in it, and the following occurs.
I roll down the window.
First thing I'm
Yeah.
going to say, morning team. Morning. You ready? Do we want to be driving in your car, or are we going to have more people because the minivan can like comfortably fit 8? Like, what would you like to do?
I'd like for you to get in the car, Karen.
Happy to do that. Not a worry. I'm going to get in the car.
Mhm. So Karen, you slide into the back seat. Laurel is in the front passenger seat, I'm assuming, unless things were weird.
Yeah.
Laurel, could you please make a resolve and composure roll for me? I'm just going to set the difficulty here for you. So go ahead.
Oh, great. Okay. Cool. So I click on, in fantasy, I click on resolve. And
you
then
click
I
on
roll
the plus
composure.
next to resolve, and then double click the little black die next to composure.
Okay.
Oh, very nice.
Oh, thank fuck.
Oh my
Four
God.
successes. You've done pretty well there. A regular success. So basically, when Karen gets into the back seat and the thunderous heartbeat starts echoing directly from her in so loud you would assume it was about to shatter the windows of the car, you manage to compose yourself and only slam your hands over your ears rather than letting out a guttural scream. It's only a moment after you cover your ears that the sound stops completely. However, Max and Karen have witnessed this almost involuntary startled movement from Laurel.
Huh.
Yeah.
So Henry wasn't bullshitting me.
Babe, are you okay?
Yeah, just, bad sleep and all, just a little bit twitchy. I get like that, don't sweat it,
Is there
babes,
anything we can do
honestly.
to help?
I think I'll be okay. I feel like, I just got to get distracted, got to get in the flow of things, just woken up. I feel like once we have stuff to do, it's going to be fine, babes, honestly. It's going to be
Have you fed in a while?
Gotta eat, Laurel.
Yeah, I mean, it's not been ages. Like, you know what? We'll be fine. I'll swing by somewhere after all this. Honestly, don't sweat it. It's gonna be okay.
Have you eaten since tracksuit disaster?
He deserved that suplex.
In disgrace.
Yeah. He was terrible. It's I've just been really occupied. So that's gonna be a no, but I'm handling it, honestly.
Look, if you are going to look after me and we're in this together, Laurel, if you really need to, I can help you out when it comes to feeding, okay?
What do you mean help me out?
Look, I can help you out.
She saw you. She saw you with, God, I keep forgetting his name. I mean, he's of no consequence, but
Yeah.
the dirty guy.
Yeah, Peter. Yeah, love. Yeah.
And I know your
Wait,
proclivities.
do you feed from other vampires? What? Wait, no. Wait, back it up. Just look, I know I knew, and I probably missed something, but I thought we fed on people. I mean,
Just to confirm, Max, are you driving or are we just parked having this
I'm
conversation?
driving. I'm driving.
Max
Okay,
As soon
is
as
driving.
Karen's I'm out of here.
Mm-hmm.
Look, have I missed something? Because I feel like there's a lot that I'm really missing.
No, I mean, I feel like the knowledge that we've armed you with is best practice. So
Okay.
this changes nothing really for your circumstances.
So you don't feed on people.
It's not. No, but I'm one of those people. It's like kind of do as I say, not as I do. I feel.
Okay.
Is how I like to sum up this relationship that we have here. So I appreciate your concern very much. I'm sure tonight will be fine. I'm pulling it together. It's okay. And if things get dire, Karen, I will take up on your offer. Okay, you're really, really sweet. I really appreciate it.
The only time I was fed on was when I was made. But I mean, if you really need to feed from me, if it gets really bad, like we can talk about it. Like I'm very confused, but
that is very sweet of you. I really appreciate it.
Does it even work that way?
Yeah. Okay, we can have this discussion when we're not pressed for time, I think.
Okay, I mean, I would just like to know, I just feel like every time I ever see any of you, I just end up with more questions.
Yeah, it'll be like that for hopefully best case scenario, it'll be like that for a few years because it means that you've survived a few years.
Do you also feed on other vampires, Max, or is this just a Laurel thing?
No, everybody's a little different.
All right, we'll talk about this later, but like I want to have this discussion, yeah?
Yeah, we're going to table it for later, darling. It's fine.
Okay.
We'll table it for later.
Speaking of questions, Karen, one thing I forgot to clarify with you before we got into your little finger mishap when you woke up. Did you sleep with that particular item that you liked to sleep with last night, or were you a bit stressed?
It's down in the den because I've been sleeping there lately and not in the bed with my husband. So I would say I probably did sleep with it.
That's okay. I'll just make a note about that. That's okay. Thank you. So Shelley, while these three are on their way to this old abandoned restaurant on Little Burke Street, the information that's been sent to you via Chris's phone. Chris is I suppose the young kids would say paralytic on the couch. Yeah. Shelley's just a little bit better now that she is pretty well tanked up on his blood.
Do I lose a hunger for that?
Yes. So what is your hunger currently at? Get my party sheet open here on Fantasy Grounds. Your hunger's currently at 2. So yes, if you just click the rightmost, there we go. Your hunger has been reduced. And Chris is still alive,
fresh,
as he has been.
Safe as houses.
For some time.
Oh, nice. All right. Well, I reckon I'll probably join them because I'm a bit concerned that they might fuck it up.
Chris,
and I've had a lecture now, so
Chris's eyes still closed mostly. Like, hey, Shell, where are you going? Were there some dudes here earlier?
Nah, you're just dreaming. It's all good. Have a rest. Lie down.
All right. You be back later?
Yeah, I'll leave him a Gatorade from the fridge.
Okay. Did you listen to my SoundCloud yet?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Did you like it?
It's it's lit, as they say, right? I've been sharing it all around.
Oh, that's
You're great.
Good.
You're so talented, mate.
Yeah.
Mega.
All right. I'm gonna lie down. I'm not gonna go to sleep. I'm just gonna lie down for a bit. Okay.
Yeah, it's all good. Party will continue. Disco nap. We'll see you later. Yeah. Oh,
he goes to sleep.
I'll leave him a Gatorade. And actually, are there any weapons in me flat? Because I reckon I might bring one.
You tell me. What would you like to bring? Remembering that we live in Australia where we have gun laws. So.
Yeah, I'd say probably a steak.
A steak?
Just in case.
Okay, yeah. Luckily, you probably do keep a couple of those around, given your past. But that's totally cool. That's totally fine.
I'll bring the steak just in case.
Indeed.
I'll pop it in my purse.
Yeah. All right. So, Shelley, you're not particularly far from Little Burke Street, which is in the Melbourne CBD. Let me just change the little image that we've got going here. I'm going to use this just to share with the players as well. Drop that in the chat box so we can all see the picture. There we go. Melbourne Central Business District. Not terribly far away. So I think it's safe to say that you would arrive probably a little bit before the car with Max, Laurel, and Karen. Is there anything you would like to do prior to their arrival, or are you happy just to wait outside of this derelict building, which is sort of on the top end of Little Burke Street, where it's a bit quieter this time of night? Most of the affluent restaurants and coteries are further down south, or west, I should say.
Is it possible to discern that they're not already there? Like I might try and peek in a window or something, just to make sure I haven't missed the party.
Yeah, sure. Could you make a wits and awareness roll, please? I'm just going to give me 1 second. I'm just going to change the difficulty.
Oh no!
You might have already got it. That's okay. You still got a success. I just got in there.
Oh, good.
It doesn't look like they're already here. The place looks pretty abandoned. The front of the building is like long derelict. There's like signs and shit. You can't get in here. This is still a pretty built up area. It's like part of the city. There are people walking past and whatever, but this abandoned, sort of burned out Chinese restaurant has been here for so long that the locals and people that are used to coming to Little Burke Street, which is Chinatown here in Melbourne, don't even really notice the place anymore. But it does have a strange sort of air to it. Back in the car, we're only a couple of minutes away from our destination. How's everyone feeling?
Checking my pockets, making sure I've got everything. I do have a steak.
I need to be home to talk to my husband, but I'm a little bit excited to just be like learning more about myself and doing something. You know, I've never really had a lot of female friends either, because I'm a bit of a bitch, but it's just kind of nice to be around, you know, other people.
All we have to do is keep you alive for long enough. And do you know how we're going to do that, Karen? You're going to tell us everything and you're not going to lie to us about anything. And we will do our best to keep you alive.
I can do that. Sure.
Max, whereabouts are you going to park?
I'm going to park in one of the parking garages, kind of in Chinatown, just across the road from where it is.
So we're able to pull into one of these very well lit neon lit.
Not a fan. Actually, no. I think there's one kind of privately owned one.
Oh, okay.
It's like small. It's basically just a demoed lot.
Okay. So you're going to go to one of those ones instead. So privately owned.
Like an empty lot.
A little bit more expensive, but you're able to get there. And it's probably only about a block away from the location in question. So you probably won't leave Shelley waiting too long. So Karen and Laurel, you exit the car.
Yep.
Max as well. And you leave the parking garage and begin heading out onto Little Burke Street, which is it's only a single lane street. Fairly busy on a Friday night, actually, but as we established, this end of it is a bit quieter. Still lots of human folk wandering around. So I'd like to remind everybody, if we do get into a situation in which you need to, Max in particular, needs to speak with the kind, we may need to employ the blush of life to make yourself look a little bit more human than you already do. But as we know, Max has her big sunglasses, which help obscure some of her more aggressive aspects of the Nosferatu curse.
Just a little unwell. And chat was asking, so in terms of Max's curse, and she is pretty hungry at the moment, so it's a bit more apparent than usual. She looks like her skin is slightly too thin, and she's always on the verge of having a hemorrhage. So like her eyes are blown out red with veins and capillaries, and you can see that all of her veins are a little bit too close to the surface, and like the veins at her eyes and her mouth, down her neck. So she always keeps her shirt kind of buttoned right up, and at her wrists has these almost black, dark red, almost black veins that anywhere that there's thinner skin, they look very, very close to surface, as though like the slightest nip would make her bleed out. She has kind of blood seeping through her fingernail beds and in her gums as well, so that she's always kind of just on the verge of bleeding out.
Gross.
Which is that particular Nosferatu curse.
It's pretty stressful right now too.
And she's pretty hungry right now, so
that's okay.
but keeping to the back alleyway.
But just like in real life, hunger can be an excellent motivator. I'm sure we'll have no negative repercussions about anything that's happening here. That's good. Karen, you get that weird feeling that you're getting more and more used to, that weird barking sound at the back of your brain that pulls up something primal from your insides, and you realize that you're actually feeling the presence of Shelley before you're actually seeing her, because you recognize this familiar taint of another predator. And it's actually this feeling in your gut, this primal call, which draws your attention across the road to where Shelley is standing.
Do I know that it's Shelley just from the feel?
You probably don't know it was her just from the feel, but you notice that the feeling is familiar, like it's the particular brand of feeling. And as soon as you see Shelley, and I assume she sees you, because Karen's not hard to spot necessarily, you would put two and two together.
Yeah, I'm going to reach over to Laurel, because I'm assuming she's in the front of the car and I'm in the back. I'm just going to rest my hand.
I think you're out of the car. You're on the street now.
We're in the car.
Pardon.
Yeah. I'm just going to turn to Laurel, and, Karen is feeling a little bit uncomfortable. So she's actually going to take Laurel's hand and she's going to huddle into her and just be like, that is the vampire we met the other day just over there.
Max, you hear Karen say the word vampire?
Good.
Kindred, darling. Kindred, not vampire.
Okay, you really need to give me like a list of rules to take home and memorize. Like,
absolutely not.
Well, we're just it's going to be a learning process, okay? Like we're going to work on this together. But there is Kindred. There, it's the one we met the other night.
Oh, great. Lovely.
Didn't know if she'd show. Thought she might like to.
She was coming.
Find Terry, and bringing him somewhere might be a little bit difficult. So I thought, let's invite her.
Shelley, you see this ragtag group of vampires across the single-lane street from you.
Yeah, I'm just gonna give him a nod, get the fuck over here.
No, Shelley, as established, is standing at the front of this abandoned, burnt-out restaurant.
Evening.
Okay, so we're all together now?
Yeah, well, assuming the other three are crossing the street, walking toward her.
Yep.
Not narrowly avoiding a car, but the cars drive pretty slowly along here. This is one of those streets where walking on the road is sort of an optional thing for pedestrians. So
I'm just gonna kind of wave at Shelley, and I'm gonna peel off and go around into the alleyway around the back of the building.
Rude.
Laurel is probably pretty familiar with. I prefer to do these things.
So while Max is doing
what's she up to then?
Yeah, Laurel, Shelley, and Karen are left to pass the time. What did you ask, Shelley?
I mean, where's she off to then? Are we all going in or what?
That's Max is being Max. I think she's just doing her recon like she normally does. Give her a couple minutes.
All right.
I'll be all right.
Standing on the street is really safe at nighttime. I love this for us. I love it. I love it.
All right. Yeah, good. It's never real safe though, is it?
Shelley,
life's hard. I don't know why. You thought being dead being easier, honestly.
Shelley, it's hard to say why this thought just pops into your mind when it does, because it's not something you think about often. Because even though it's a pretty stressful thing to think about, you have experienced a lot of very stressful things in your time. But for some reason, you just start thinking about the waiter from the unnamed 24-hour Greek restaurant on Chapel Street from 1997. Just in the middle of your sentence, he just pops into your head, probably for the first time in a long while, I would say. I could be wrong, but
yeah, I guess I'll just trail off then.
that's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, can we hurry this up? It's getting long.
Yeah. Oh God.
Max, what are you doing around the corner?
Being a Nosferatu quietly, hopefully invisibly, going around the alley to the back of the building and seeing if there is a way in that is not fronting onto the street. I am also looking to see if there are any solo drunk people staggering down the alleyway.
Okay, both of those things. It's possible. It's still relatively early on Burke Street. You said hopefully invisibly. Are you employing the cloak of night, the unseen passage?
Silence of death, definitely yes.
Okay.
Not that matters too much in the middle of the city. If there is, are there any kind of solo drunks in this little alleyway? That's probably what I'm going to do first.
It's hard to say.
I'm at 3 hunger, and if I make that rouse check and fail,
yeah, there's no one down here just yet. It's still a bit early, I would say, for the drunk people wandering down the alleys. Particularly this high up on Little Burke Street.
Yeah.
Maybe if you waited a bit longer, or perhaps a bit later, but you might just have to coast it out for now, unless you're willing to make some concessions as to how you normally feed. One thing you do know, however, is you come across a side entrance which has been boarded up, but pretty shoddily so. There's some graffiti in there implying that maybe at some point somebody else has, broken in and done whatever to the inside, and they've tried to do their best to put things back as they were to obscure the fact that they ever broke into the abandoned place in the first instance.
I'm not going to slow my pace at all. I'm just going to keep walking, do the round of the block, and come back out the front to where the others are.
Okay, so it's a few minutes have passed since Max has been gone, and she returns to the rest of the coterie.
The prodigal sheriff returns. What have you spied with your little eye?
A way in.
All right then.
Yeah.
So you want to rush him and push him out the front, and I'll grab him, or we all going in together?
This is just the last place that he was known to be.
All right. So we're all going together then. We're not going to split up anymore.
We're going in together, and then I'm going on ahead.
All right. Sounds like a plan.
Yeah.
Right. Lead the way, love. Off you pop.
I put a cocktail in my jacket pocket as well from when I left the car. So I've got my 2 interior jacket pockets. One's got a steak in it. One's got a Molotov cocktail.
Nice.
Oh, Molotov.
It's exciting. Very good. Don't fucking drop it. That's stressful.
Yeah.
So Max leads the coterie back into the alley, I assume towards this entrance that she spied. Who's bringing up the rear?
I would say it would be Laurel and Karen. So I've kind of got, I guess, Karen a little bit ahead of me. She's still holding my hand.
Oh,
and I think I'm kind of hovering in a comforting way. I hope it's a comforting way. Yep. Kind of hovering just a little bit behind her and make sure that she doesn't chicken out and run away, basically.
Probably a good call.
Yeah.
That's good.
She's got to stay with us.
So how does Laurel react when she starts to feel Karen's hand pulsing almost in time with a non-existent heart in Laurel's hand?
Oh, no. I am trying to play it supremely cool. I'm staring at the back of Karen's head, essentially. I just don't want to look at any exposed skin. Just looking right at the back of her head, just trying to keep my cool. I think my grip probably tightens, maybe almost painfully, depending on how strong, I guess, Karen is.
Probably worth pointing out that Karen's hand is still ice cold, just as yours is.
Yeah.
But Karen, the grip in your hand is increasing, almost painfully so. But you're a strong lady.
Oh yeah, I'm strong. I'm gonna grip back as tight as Laurel is. I'm just gonna look back and just check in and be very, very quietly, Bub, you okay? Is anything wrong? Can I help?
Yeah, no, it's cool. Just it's eyes front. You know, we're gonna get through this. The sooner we get in there and find this scumbag, the sooner we can just sort all this out. So it's gonna be okay. And I like exhale, like, you know, trying to be comforting, but I don't know how convincing I am. Probably not very.
And then Karen, being Karen, is just gonna like grip just even a little bit tighter because Karen is quite strong. And just be like, look, if you don't want to hold hands, it's okay. Like, I should have asked first. I'm really sorry. Should have checked in, like, consent-wise. But, like, you know, I really needed the comfort. And
Holding that thought just for one moment, Max and Shelley, how much of this are you putting up with?
Shut the fuck up, please. Can you just keep it down? Honestly.
Yeah, I'm sorry, my bad. I'm sorry. I'm going to keep holding your hand if that's cool. I'm going to keep holding your hand. Okay, let's go.
No, it's fine.
I'm sorry.
Save it, love.
Okay.
All right, Max, you've led them to this this half boarded up back door. The rest of the coterie is behind you. How would you all like to proceed?
Is there an obvious way to have the boards been? Is it seriously boarded up, or is this a fake boarding?
They've been hammered up previously, but they've also been pulled down and then put back. So it would make a bit of noise to go through there. But you can probably break it down pretty easily, given the fact that you've got time and expertise in this sense. There's no roll necessary unless there's something particular attention you would like to pay to any aspect of the job.
So slow and quiet then.
Yeah, slow and quiet would be better. Are there any windows?
Not on the ground level. Most of them have been quite fiercely boarded up down here.
That's fine.
It's very narrow building, but it is 3 stories. Yeah.
Yeah. There was specifically nobody hanging out in the alleyway though.
Correct. No one in the alleyway.
All right.
Well then.
Don't see a quiet way of us getting in.
Well, we'll just take your time, I guess. You know. Got this one.
Karen, give us a hand over here. Come on.
Max wants some help. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Is she asking anyone in particular, or?
Yes,
Karen.
Right. Absolutely. Yes. Yes.
Right.
What assistance would you like?
We're just gonna pull the boards off, all right?
Yeah, all right. Sure. Can you just stand back?
Quietly, please. Please.
Well,
I'll try. I'll try. I'll do my best. What am I rolling?
I don't think you're rolling anything. There's probably no roll necessary. Max, just describe what you would like Karen to do here. We're just peeling these boards off and opening the door behind, but quietly.
Peel these boards off. Not going to do it violently, but Max did see how strong Karen was.
Mm-hmm.
So I would just like her to pull them off, just gently pull them off as quietly as possible.
So you do this, and it exposes it's obviously like a back exit. It's a door that is in a slight depression in the wall, about a half a meter, and there's 2 steps that lead up to the door. The door is the paint is flaking off it. There's a faded sign which says the name of the restaurant, or what it was once named. Shelley, when you see this door, you get a very intense sense of deja vu.
Well, I think we're on the right track. Everyone. This is good. Or not. Let's find out.
Got to solve this, so it doesn't really matter if it's going.
Yeah, we're in this worry.
When we get inside, I'm going to disappear.
All right.
So I can't do it out here. And I'll lead the way in. And as soon as I get across the threshold, I'm gonna go unseen passage and uncanny grip, and basically continue inside, climbing the walls like a fucking silent spider.
Oh, that's so gross. The door takes a little bit of a firm hip and shoulder to push open into what would have been a kitchen, but it's now been gutted out. The walls, it's very dark in here. The walls and ceiling are black and burned as if by ash. There was a big fire in here at some point. The stainless steel sink is definitely not stainless anymore. There's a lot of exposed piping. There are no doors. Well, there are doors that lead out of here, doorways, but there are no doors left there anymore. They're hanging by their hinges, if at all. Max, when you walk in here and you disappear and you go into your creepy sort of spider woman, for want of a better word, mode.
I'm gonna quickly palm off the Molotov cocktail to Laurel.
Karen? Oh, okay.
Oh.
No, Laurel? No, that makes more sense. Yeah.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Laurel.
Thank you.
That's
Thank
good.
you.
Didn't think you'd have
Lauren,
brought anything.
Laurel, you take it in your between your thumb and forefinger as if it were dipped in poison, and
Yeah.
and Max, could you please
Yeah.
make a rouse check for your unseen passage, please?
This can go super well or super badly.
Hey! Oh no!
So Max, your hunger has increased to 4. The beast is the beast is so close to just getting right in here.
Oh,
You're still in
fuck.
control, but the beast
No.
likes to do something particularly cooked with you when you get this hungry. Could you explain to us
Oh.
what happens? Not that anyone can
Oh.
actually see this right now, because you do disappear as you call upon the power of the Nosferatu bloodline and cloak yourself in night.
I think there's a flicker. I think there's a second where she kind of, where the hunger rises, where the beast rises in her, and she flickers in and out of a bit of visibility for a moment.
Mhm.
And when she flickers back in the final time, you can see that she is freely bleeding from her wrists and from what looks like tiny cuts in her brow, and is just freely bleeding.
Don't forget about that
No.
spot in the ribcage as well.
Yeah, and
Also
you
in
can
your
see.
shoes.
Well, you can't.
No,
She
but
wears black.
Oh.
at
I'm
least.
just reminding you.
But there is, before she kind of disappeared from sight and sound, there is a quiet drip of blood, of her blood,
Mm-hmm.
It's dripping on the floor. Oh.
Mhm.
Indeed.
out of vision and goes silent again.
All right,
Mm.
coterie.
Aaron is just gonna look like straight at Laurel and be like, what the fuck is going on?
Max does this, you know. It's a Max thing. I wouldn't sweat it, really. Nothing you need to worry about specifically. This is not going to happen to you, I don't think. No, you'll be fine.
Okay, still worrying.
Can we whisper this, please? Or just like save it? Let's just move on and hope she doesn't fucking drip everywhere. Christ. All right, let's step
There's
in.
only one doorway
Let's
from
move
here.
on. Yeah.
Follow the trail, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, so Shelley, you're taking
Aaron's
point
gonna
on this one?
straight up walk in.
Yeah.
Okay,
Mhm.
followed closely by Karen and Max. We assume that you're nearby. That's okay.
I am
Crawling up over
going
the
the
wall.
same way as her,
Mm-hmm.
but on the ceiling and a bit ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Are you dripping still or not? Are you dripping still, or is it stealthy now?
Possibly, but the power of obfuscate would obscure any wayward drips,
Yeah.
at least for now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Shelley, you lead the group into what would have been the front of the restaurant where everybody would sit and take their meals. To the left of you, there is a staircase, very narrow, that goes up to the second floor. But from here, all you can really see is a bunch of old upturned tables, very burnt, a lot of graffiti on the inside, a very, very latent smell of kerosene, which again fills you with a twisted sort of deja vu.
Okay. But nothing to see here, really. Let's head up to something more quiet, more private. I imagine they're not going to be hanging out in the shop.
Mm-hmm. So at this point, I'll ask everybody to make a wits and awareness roll. Just before you do, let me set the difficulty.
Yeah.
There we go. Use our fantasy grounds to do our fancy V5 dice rolling here. Well, Max is extremely aware.
Mm.
Oh, what? No, I only got to roll. Well, whatever. Matt's not aware. I did a decent roll. Didn't go well. It's fine.
Yes.
Right, wheels.
You all succeed. So what you all hear is the ceiling above you creaking, and then the creak moving across the ceiling, like.
Oh.
All right, we got this.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Bless.
Good and tight. Okay. So, I've also got Silence of Death. Kind of don't want to creak up these old creaky stairs, but I reckon the other two are probably going to do it anyway. So
you can still put it on for yourself if you would like to obscure all your sounds.
Honestly, at this point, like we've already got one secret ninja who's going to get the drop on him. I kind of want him to know that I found him. To be honest, so yeah, I'm not gonna. Thanks for working through that with me, everyone. Let's just go charge up the stairs.
So Shelley begins her way up the stairs. Max, you are clawing your way. Not probably just next to Shelley, almost close enough.
Okay.
Karen and Laurel. Karen, how are you feeling?
Following.
Well, I didn't notice it. I failed.
Oh, you failed. Oh, pardon me. So no, you're.
So I'm just kind of like, I have no idea what's happening.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna fall. I'm being dragged somewhere. I'm like, yeah, right, cool. Can I sense anything?
Not quite yet. You may very soon.
Right.
But who's going up behind Shelley is what I'm trying to figure out, because this is a very narrow staircase. You can go up single file.
Okay, it's gonna be me because I'm probably really stressed on a high alert. So the minute I hear something, I'm like, okay, gotta protect Karen, gotta sort this shit out. So I'm behind Shelley.
Okay.
And then I would be just behind Laurel because I'm assuming we're probably still holding hands.
Yeah, it's happening. Yeah, we're still holding hands. Just two kindred holding hands, 5 cm apart because we're mates. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So
we're definitely kindred, not vampires.
You head up to the second floor. To your right would be where the small section of bathrooms are, the doors to which are mostly broken in. The bathrooms themselves are pretty gross. The rest of the room, however, is much the same as the floor below. It is additional seating and space for people to sit and take their meals. The stairs do go up again to a third floor, but there's a door which is closed. You're not too focused on that right now because there is a man sat squat with his back to you. He's wearing a denim jacket and black pants. He's wearing heavy boots, and he's squat on his knees, sort of like as if he's focused on something on the floor, but he doesn't have his. He doesn't turn to look at you. Whether or not he's heard you is unclear. Karen, you get this sense of the primal fear or primal attachment of a fellow predator just ahead of you, emanating from this man. But something about it is strangely familiar.
Do I recognize him?
You can see him from behind. Terry often did wear denim jackets and such. But Terry was also, at least when you knew him, a bit of a loudmouth as well. Whether if this is Terry, he seems to be a bit distressed, or he's not paying attention.
I'm going to lean into Laurel and just whisper, "Who's that, kindred?"
Well, that's what we're here to find out. Shh, quiet.
I'm gonna take something out of my handbag and toss it at his head.
What do you toss?
While we're all standing. I don't know, fucking deodorant.
You just toss a can of deodorant across the
straight at his head.
At his head.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. It hits this guy in the back of the head, and he falls forward onto his knees. He makes a noise, and then he spins around very quickly, supernaturally quickly. And he looks right at you. And it's hard for you to tell if it's Terry because his entire face, save for one of his eyes and most of his mouth, is covered in browned black bandages that look like they were once white, but they're now just really blackened. And his eye is wide. He's like, oh, I didn't do anything. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't.
Who are you, love?
It's not. I'm nobody. I'm nobody.
No.
They're not here. Okay, if you're looking for them, none of them are here. They're not here anymore.
Who? Give us names. You and them.
He stands up and he rubs the back of his head. What did you throw at me? What the?
Doesn't matter. Got your attention, didn't it? What's your name?
Who are you? Tell me who you are first.
No. You first.
There's three.
Say again?
Sorry, I've been asleep for a while, I think. I'm still just getting my bearings. He's looking around,
Yeah.
unsure.
Surely you remember your name, though, love. Forget about where you are.
I'm not sure if you've ever been asleep for... I'm not sure how long. It's hard to tell. Sometimes the fog of eternity, it comes and goes. I'm not sure if it was 2 weeks or 2 years, but it takes a moment. I've only woken up a couple of hours ago.
How do you know who's here and who's not then? Who do you think we were looking for?
Because I went to sleep with a bunch of others and none of them are here.
Who are they?
The others?
Mm-hmm.
Papa Black, Queen Mary, even that new recruit, little sister. None of them are here anymore.
Fuck.
Who are you?
Who are you? Come on, you can do it.
My name is Joseph. We're going to take a quick break. And we'll be back soon with Book of Dreams, a vampire story.
Hola.
Welcome back to
Indeed.
Book of Dreams, a Vampire the Masquerade story. Just before we took our break, the coterie found themselves in a burned-out, abandoned restaurant on Little Burke Street, a location that was given to them by Henry Black, former member of the Sabbat, now La Sombra compatriot of the Camarilla. They were hoping to find a man named Terry Maldonado, a Bruja Anarch who many years ago, and in recent years as well, has pissed off a number of people. Instead, they found a man in a denim jacket, black trousers, heavy boots, and a face covered entirely in what looked to be fairly old or almost rotten medical bandages, who has said that he has just woken up after a stint of torpor. It's unclear how long that torpor stint was. And he said that his name is Joseph, a name of particular importance to Karen, whose sire, who left her alone, was also called Joseph.
So immediately, before anyone can even react, as soon as Karen has already realized that she can feel that they may be another vampire, before anyone can react, she lets go of Laurel's hand and she actually just bolts across the room and rips the bandages from his face. The reaction from her is so fast and so visceral, she cannot even hold herself back. She bolts and she rips it from him.
So what I can tell Karen is that while both Karen and her player Ella are uncertain of Karen's supernatural abilities, Karen does not have the ability to move supernaturally quickly. So luckily, she was a very athletically built and physically minded woman in life. So she has quite a lot of regular attributes here. But you will need to make a roll for this. Before I get Karen to make a roll, because she was standing behind Shelley and sort of with Laurel, and it's unclear exactly where Max is. Would any of the players attempt to stop Karen should she bolt at a human speed past you towards this person?
No.
Yeah.
Oh, I've got another plan. I'm good.
Laurel?
I think I would. The minute she lets go of my hand and I see her moving kind of past me, I'm going to just whip my arm out and try and stop her, because I don't know who the fuck this person is. I don't want to get involved in this shit at all. Mm-hmm. So I just whip my hand out and try and stop her.
Okay. Karen, are you going to try and move past it regardless?
Absolutely.
Okay. So Karen, can I have you make a dexterity plus athletics roll? And Laurel, can you make a dexterity plus brawl roll? And we're going to compare your successes. Ignore the difficulty there. We're just going to look at your total successes. So Karen's is 4 successes total.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes!
To Laurel's bestial failure. Give me just one moment here. I'm just going to look something up.
Yeah, sure.
Suffice to say that she fails spectacularly.
So badly.
I'm sorry.
Maybe it's the hand that has the fucking Molotov cocktail in it. I'm not thinking.
Don't say that.
No. We're not quite that bad.
You are hungry. You're pretty famished though.
Yeah.
It's not great.
Mm-mm.
It's not great.
I'm going to ask Laurel to increase her hunger by 1 level.
You kidding?
I'm not.
There we go.
Okay, it's 4 now.
To 14.
So as Laurel swings her arm out to stop Karen, and Karen pushes past her like Laurel were nothing, the beast lurches, and what would normally be anger or embarrassment instead turns to just just impossible hunger as it's amped up yet again. Laurel, you're going to be very distracted for the next few minutes at least, until some blood touches your lips. Karen, you're going to just make a strength and brawl roll against
Absolutely.
Against quote unquote Joseph over here.
Can I get behind
Whoa.
this amount of time?
Give me just one moment.
Oh, I died.
Oh, sorry.
Karen's strong. Jesus fuck.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Oh, you Whoa!
Yeah.
Karen, would you like to spend a point of willpower to re-roll up to 3 of your black dice on your roll, your last roll?
Absolutely. Yeah. We're doing it. 100%.
Currently, Joseph has got 7 successes, a critical success to Karen's 3 successes.
I'm still going to try. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Help? Is there any way that I can be Spider-Womaning across the ceiling and getting down behind him?
You are wanting to help Karen with this?
Well, not necessarily help Karen with this. What Max would like to do is get behind him and try and drive the stake from his back through his heart.
Yes, you can attempt to do that as well. Let's just quickly resolve this. These might end up happening simultaneously. But,
let's go.
So, Karen, if you're looking at your character sheet there on Fantasy Grounds,
Yep.
The little SP button next to your willpower, if you click that, it'll give you the option to re-roll dice. So you select the 3 black dice you'd like to re-roll. There we go. Perfect. Does it all for us. All right, so it's changed to 4 successes.
Still not great.
So
God, I had a lot of dice too.
You did have a lot of dice. It was an unfortunate roll. So you scrambling, and this guy doesn't know clearly what's going on. He's a bit groggy. He's fighting off, butting your hands away. If nothing else, he is very distracted when Max comes up behind him. Now, Max, you're wanting to stake somebody. That means you need at least to properly pierce the bone there. If you go from the front, it's normally you need at least 5 successes to pierce the breastplate in one roll. Because you're going from the back, it's not quite as difficult. So you're just going to need 4 successes all at once. And he's very distracted, so he's not going to be a counted roll. But this is a strength plus melee roll.
Not roll. Okay.
You can make a brawl if you would like to do it particularly viciously.
Does Karen notice what Max is trying to do?
Of course it's vicious.
Max is still invisible.
This guy
at this
just
point.
said until the point where I attack him. You cannot see what I'm doing. But as soon as he said Joseph, as soon as he said his name was Joseph, which Max knows is the name that Karen gave of the vampire running around creating other. No. This is violent.
Oops, sorry.
This is violent.
Yeah, get him.
No, so close.
You can spend a point of willpower to re-roll that 1 black die you still have.
I'm gonna. So,
and also, as soon as Karen realizes that Max is trying to attack Joseph, Karen is going to try and intervene.
Okay, we'll keep that in mind if this doesn't succeed.
How do I do the willpower thing? The
little SP button, and it will bring up. There you are.
Reroll the failed. Click on 1.
It's going to be another failure. Well, the thing is, you still drive the stake into his back. It just doesn't go all the way in to properly pierce his heart. So, Karen, while you're flailing with him at the front, Max, in all her horrific stigmata bleeding visage, appears behind Joseph and drives this jagged piece of wood into his back, past his spine, making a sickening crunch sound. Joseph howls out in front of you, his fangs distended from between his lips, the little bit of his face that you can see through these bandages. And he falls sort of forward, almost more at you. He's now trying to push past you to get away from whoever is behind him. But he is hissing and howling. I'm going to ask now at this point, I know that Karen wants to intervene. What are Laurel and Shelley wanting to do? Starting with Shelley.
Do I get any of that dread that I had when I saw his Tinder pics earlier? Am I getting the Joseph?
Joseph dread.
Yeah.
Joseph dread.
Not right now. That said, this guy's face is still completely covered up, and it's hard to say exactly what it was about seeing those photos that gave you the dread. It was like a...
All right.
Yes, but you don't have anything like that right now.
All right.
Although he has said some very stressful things.
Like do I recognize any of the names that we dropped earlier?
Yes,
in
you
the
do.
modern time. Okay. Yeah. So I'm not going to let him get away. I might try and stake his hand to the floor, just as a thought.
What, just stake his hands to the floor?
Yeah, since he's scrabbling around right now.
Oh, yeah, so
trying to get
he's
away,
fallen
just-
down. He's fallen down onto all fours, and you'd like to run
Yeah.
up and try and stake his hand to the floor. All right,
Yeah, if I can.
Yes, you totally can attempt that. I'm just going to see what Laurel would like to do because this is all happening sort of simultaneously. Laurel, do you have any desire here? I know what the beast really wants you to do.
Yeah, how cognizant, I guess, am I at this point?
Any roll you attempt, will it be at -2 dice if it's not immediately conducive to feeding?
Okay, cool.
Shelley's right.
Cool,
there.
great. Yeah. Well, I mean, I think I'm probably intelligent enough to know that Shelley is above my pay grade. But
Karen's
do
not.
I notice? Yeah, do I notice that Karen is, I guess, trying to get in the way of what Max is doing? Like, do I notice that she's...
Well, Karen, what are you going to try and do? You're going to try and push Max away, or just
the thing is,
involve
Max
yourself?
is attacking him and he's in front of me. So I'm thinking I'm just going to have a bit of a flashback to, what I've done earlier and like suplex him behind me. Just so he's like,
What?
Quite difficult.
Like, too. I hate.
So that's what you see. Karen's about to try and do something pretty wild. So what would you like to do?
Yeah,
Laura?
I mean,
Okay, so Karen's about to do some wild shit. I guess I see her whole body tense or whatever, and I'm incredibly aware of, I guess, every line of muscle / vein that is visible.
Also, you hear that
So
heartbeat
I'm just
again.
gonna... Yeah,
also,
so I'm just gonna...
Laurel knows that my sire's name is Joseph.
Yeah, I'm aware.
Laurel's
I'm
not
aware,
on
so...
here at the moment, unfortunately, Karen.
Also true.
Sorry. Leave a message. You want to leave a
I got
message
my
for
champagne.
Laurel.
Keep going, team. Keep going.
Yeah. So I am... Okay, so I see... Laurel sees that Karen's entire body is tensed up, about just some kind of weird acrobatic maneuver, presumably. So, or I guess I've zoned in on every single visible muscle and vein that I can see on Karen. Yeah. And Laurel's incredibly hungry. And Laurel, I think, can sense that whatever Karen's about to do is moving Joseph, the target, away from Max.
Mm-hmm.
So that is going to be a problem because Laurel wants this resolved as quickly as possible. And I think that same sort of like weird sense of her pride being slighted by Karen batting her away like she was nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And now that combined with the hunger that she's feeling, she's going to zero in on Karen. I'm going to zero in on Karen, and I'm going to just, I think, blindly lunge at Karen and try and stop her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Shelley, could you make a dexterity plus brawl roll to try and pin
Absolutely.
Joseph's hand to the floor with your stake?
All right.
Give me
Is it brawl or melee?
a melee,
Where's my
pardon me.
melee weapon?
It would be melee.
Well, I failed the brawl anyway, so let's try again with the dex and melee.
You got another one. You got a second one. Go.
Come on. Oh, mate.
So you only need
mate.
one more success if you would like to spend willpower to...
Oh, yeah, go
Do
on.
it.
Yeah.
That's
So I'm currently tracking my old-timey willpower on here, so should I just roll the dice?
That's totally
Is that
okay.
right?
Or I can roll them for you
Alright.
if you would like.
Yeah, if you want to do it.
Yeah, you can. I'll re-roll 3 dice for you here.
All right.
So it's going to be 3 successes. So you lunge forward with the stake in your hand, and you pierce through the back of his hand. The snapping of the bones, like they're pretty fragile there. As you pin it directly, like a good few inches into the fragile, burned wooden floor beneath him. He then obviously begins screaming because this guy has a non-zero number of stakes embedded in him at this point. Now, Karen, it's going to be hard for you to suplex him because this is all very happening at once. So you're about to...
That's fine.
You're about to get involved in
I'm
that.
still going to...
Go ahead.
I'm just going to reach forward and rip off his bandages. The only thing that Karen is thinking about right now is understanding if he is her sire who abandoned her.
So as you're reaching for those bandages, Laurel comes up from behind you. Laurel, could you make a strength and brawl roll, please?
Love this. This is a complete clusterfuck.
No!
Yeah, it's
Mate.
terrible.
Oh, no!
Sorry, Karen.
Another bestial
It's nice
failure.
knowing you. Nice knowing you, Karen.
Oh no! All right, what am I rolling?
Well, first of all, when we have another bestial failure, I tend to go for a compulsion that is the most dramatically appropriate. So, Laurel, could you increase your hunger by 1, please?
Oh, lovely.
Oh my god!
It's yours now.
So you're grabbing at Karen to try and pull her away. You don't stop Karen from pulling the bandages off Joseph's face. But what I need you to do right now is, because you're still got your arms sort of around her, but she's just hard to move.
Yeah.
Your face is pressed right up against her icy cold neck.
Oh no.
Could you please make a resolve and composure roll?
Oh no. Oh no. Okay.
Oh, that is a lot.
Whoa.
Messy critical.
A messy critical success. All right. Cool.
Oh, God.
So you're making a roll then to do your best to avoid eating
Yes.
your surrogate child, Karen.
Yep.
You are managing now
Baby.
with your very high margin of success to stop yourself from doing that. But this is a messy critical. So Laurel is not the one succeeding at not feeding off Karen. The beast is the one succeeding off not feeding off Karen. And the beast will have what it wants. So you hurl Karen away, and everyone sees this happening if you're paying attention. There's quite a lot more strength than Laura would normally exhibit in this. So Karen, you slide across the floor as she throws you out of the way, and you slide all the way across.
Do I have a grip on Joseph's bandages?
Oh, the bandages are off. They're off already.
Yeah.
If you get a chance to get in there, because Laurel now seizes Joseph, whose hand is bleeding because he's been shoved down.
No.
He is motionless, and Laurel grabs him by the face and sinks her fangs into his throat and begins to swallow.
Shit. Okay.
Max, what would you like to do?
Right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it a second.
Hold everybody. Let's see where she's going with this.
I'm gonna give it a couple of
Yeah, this could be a strategy.
I'm gonna let it get a good few hefty swallows, and then I'm gonna try and rip them apart. Because I want Laurel to feed, and I want this guy weak. So I'm gonna let her get a few hefty swallows in, and then I'm gonna try and pull them apart.
So Laurel is making these
face?
guttural noises as she swallows down this man's blood. He's flailing both against the stake through his hand and against the Tremere Blood Witch, who has got a very fierce grip on his face and neck. Laurel, because of the amount of time that's passed so far, can you please reduce your hunger by 1 to 4?
Oh, thank fuck.
As soon as Karen can act, she's going to start moving. So give me a.
Oh, that's what. So I was just going to check first if Shelley had anything she would like to do at this point.
Can we see his face?
You can see his face.
Yeah.
Is it all there?
The guy?
His face is all there, but
And is it
it looks
the face?
pale. It is the face that you've seen before, and you get that sense of dread again that you had the first time you saw it.
It's
Well, look at a fucking bunch of hungry muck. Like, what are you? You fucking muppets, all of you. Like, why didn't you feed before you go on a fucking job like this? Like, you fucking hungry muppet. Oh, whatever. At this point, he's giving me dread. They all want him dead. I'm just gonna sit back.
Karen.
Yeah.
All right.
What would you like to
Do I
do?
recognize him?
Yeah.
Sorry,
Do I
Karen. What did you
recognize
say?
him? Do I recognize him?
Yeah, you do.
Shit.
Yeah, it's Joseph. It's your sire.
In that case,
He would never wear this, what he's currently wearing. It looks like he's just put on someone else's clothes. But he also stinks, kind of. But he's also, his face is contorted in a lot of pain and fear right now as your surrogate sire feeds off him. This is all very kind of incestuous and weird for you.
This is a lot.
And hey, now that I think about it, not entirely unlike a metaphor for your current feeding habits. But let's...
Look, okay, they're fucked up. All right, we know. The only thing that Karen cares about in this moment is getting to Joseph and understanding what has happened to her because she's so newly turned. So to any extent that I have to attack my own party, I am going to take to get to him. So I'm going to
God.
run forward immediately and try and rip Laurel from him.
Okay.
Good, that worked.
One thing we do need to quickly do as Karen is pacing purposefully towards Laurel. Laurel, I need you to make a resolve plus composure roll for having your first taste of blood while so
great.
hungry.
Oh, great. No, fuck me.
So this
You
is
kidding?
unfortunately the beast will have what it wants. Laurel, you fade
Yeah,
into the sunken place. Max, you see her eyes twist into like this horrid sort of yellowed form, split like that of a cat, as her hands grip even more fiercely into Joseph's head. She lets out a guttural predatory noise which has bubbles of blood sprouting out from around the edges of her mouth as she sinks her fangs deeper into his throat, really gorging him, sucking as deeply as she possibly can. She is in the midst of a hunger frenzy, and her surrogate child has definitely never seen anything like this before. Karen, what are you you're wanting to pull Laurel away from Joseph?
Yeah. The first thing I'm going to do is that I don't know about vampire etiquette clearly being so newly turned, and no one's given me a list or a Wikipedia page. So the first thing that Karen's going to try and do whilst physically trying to remove her is also try and dominate her, because she doesn't know better.
Okay. So
she's going to say,
what do you try
never. Yeah, I'm going to look her dead in the eye and say, do not touch him. And then
she look me in the eye? I'm kind of like face first in like this guy's neck.
I can confirm for you, Laurel, that you have absolutely no control over what you're doing. So just hang back for a moment.
Got it.
One thing you notice, Karen, is that your surrogate sire's eyes look like yellow cat eyes right now. So she makes full eye contact with you while you attempt to dominate her, but nothing really happens other than. Give me one moment, just rolling some dice here on Laurel's behalf. Other than her swinging her hand back at you and smacking you in the chin. It hurts. It doesn't do much damage to you at all. Yeah. Max, what are you wanting to do now that you're seeing this happening?
Well, I wanted Laurel to not be hungry, but this is a bit much. I'm probably going to try and separate. Now, do I know that if I put a kindred into Pauper, if I finish the job at the stake, do I know if that will make him less palatable? Would that be like drinking from the dead? Would that be?
No,
do I know that?
No. I mean, he will not be flailing around as much, but it won't.
I'm just gonna try and get her off. I'm just gonna try and get her off. Just gonna try and like
finish it off.
Hand in the head, rip her off.
Far out.
Can you make another?
Yell at Karen just to be like, little help.
Make another strength and brawl roll. There, I'm not sure if Karen is going to offer any help. She's been smacked in the mouth, which is kind of rude.
Karen is literally just trying to get Joseph to herself. She will fight anyone off him at this point. Like, she is his.
One.
So, 4 successes. No, you were correct then, Max. Sorry, I still had the previous difficulty in there. 4 successes is enough. Okay. So you quickly just, with the bunt of your hand, smack the stake in a little further. Joseph goes completely limp. Laurel doesn't look like she's about to let up. Shelley, are you still just watching from the sidelines at this point?
Yeah, I mean, I've got no vested interest in this guy except that he's got bad memories. He knows shit that probably the others shouldn't know, so I'm going to just let it happen. I mean, like, I guess I'll never find Terry, but it was a shot in the dark anyway, so I'm just going to sit back.
Okay, that's cool. Laurel, could you make another resolve and composure roll now?
Yeah. Okay.
No, that's cool. So Laurel, still in the throes of frenzy, now pulls her like prostrate, limp victim closer to her. She's squatting there like some sort of creature. Well, who knows? She is a creature. And swallows more of
I'm going to attack
Joseph's
Laurel.
blood.
Oh, God.
I'm going to try and pull her off physically, like rip her from him, even if it hurts her.
Okay.
And I'm ripping back the other way.
So we're all going for it, team.
Okay. So to confirm, Karen, you're trying to pull Laurel off of Joseph, and Max, you are trying to pull Joseph out of Laurel?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
very good.
Yes.
Can you both make a strength and brawl roll? The difficulty is set as it is for you both.
So many dice.
So many dice. So we've got a success from Karen.
Not from me, no.
Very good. All right, so Karen, you pull Laurel back. Her fangs are still chomped down. So what you also managed to do is essentially rip a hole in Joseph's dry and somewhat bloody right now jugular. He falls down
He'll be fine.
flat. Laurel is flailing in your arms. I'll ask now Laurel to make another resolve and composure roll.
Fuck me. Oh, God.
Whoa.
Oh, thank God.
Oh, no.
Well done.
Now, as she kicks and flails in as Karen is holding her back like this, arms wrapped around her, Laurel's eyes return to their normal state. You have no memory of perhaps the last 40 seconds or so. Last thing you remember seeing was Karen's, lovely sinewy-looking neck, and now all you know is you're being pulled away. What I can tell you is that you're significantly less hungry than you were a moment ago, but you're also covered in blood, all over your mouth, down your chin, all spattered across the front of your shirt. It's probably becoming apparent to Karen now that black is a good color to keep around in your wardrobe.
As soon as I realize Laurel is herself again and her eyes aren't cat-slit and attacking, I'm just going to very, very quickly say to her, "That's my sire. You need to stop."
Okay.
Just very quickly, shit, I need to talk to him. I'm physically holding her back, trying to stop her from feeding from him.
We are now out of conflict, so we can act as not as normal, but please continue now that Joseph, what we can say is Joseph is on the ground staked with a huge hole in his throat. Laurel is no longer in frenzy. Karen is still holding her very tight. Max, you're still pretty hungry. And Shelley, that feeling of dread, while persistent, is not arresting.
Can I tell if Joseph is stable?
No, because this is probably the first time you've seen someone being staked. He's got a big hole in his throat, so I suppose Karen would just look like, holy shit, a big hole in your throat, that can't be good for anybody.
So if that's the case, the first thing I'm going to do, aside from talking to Laurel, is a little bit of backstory. Karen has a medical degree and is a qualified doctor, and I'm going to try and stem the wound and give him care as soon as conflict dissolves.
Okay, so that's what Karen's trying to do. So you get down to your knees, you've left your surrogate sire there to catch her proverbial breath as you attempt to patch the wound. You notice a few things about the wound. It's not actively bleeding. It's cold and kind of gross.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
I don't know any better, so Karen's just going to be like,
totally.
What do I do?
Try and put pressure on it as she normally would. Shelley and Max might find this amusing.
Max just looks at her and just points down at the stake and just says, "Do not take that out." He's not fine, but he's not. It takes more than that.
Okay, but he's not gonna pass. He's not gonna.
He passed years ago. You
know
passed.
You know what I mean? My God, you all keep using this language like I'm fucking stupid.
All I'm saying, Karen, is it takes more than that.
Okay, well, fine. Is he fine? Do I need to treat him? Is he?
Nah.
Bunch of fucking muppets, honestly.
No, seriously. Just 5 minutes if you couldn't treat me like a child and would tell me what was happening. I don't know.
Do you know the trolley problem, Karen? Have you heard of the trolley problem?
Oh my God, yes. That's not my sire. My sire, hello. If you didn't catch on until now, his name is Joseph. This is him. God. It's bleeding out and I need answers and you're talking to me about fucking trolley problems.
No, you see, the whole point of this, Karen, is that I'm doing my very best to make sure you're not on the tracks here.
Okay, well, that's great, but do I need to be doing something now?
I'll leave him be. He's good. He's actually good. He's
Fine, fine. Just
It takes
tell
a lot
me
more than
straight
that.
up. Metaphors, seriously. Are we?
Yeah, that was a bit ridiculous, honestly.
It was a bit. Thank you. Vampire I have fairly met and seems actually like fairly on top of things. It is a
Poor
bit
lost lamb.
fucking ridiculous.
I don't know how you ended up with these Muppets, honestly.
Oh, neither do I, because you seem to have a fairly good head on your shoulders and you're not getting in the way.
I mean, proverbially. Oh dear. Yeah, well,
Take what I
look,
can
I've
get.
seen some
Okay,
shit,
so-
and he's all right. He'll be fine.
All right, he's okay.
He's
Fine.
He's in a coma right now, and the steak is keeping him there, and he'll be fine.
Why was that so hard to say, Max?
I was saying that to you, but you were freaking.
You weren't. You were talking about fucking trolley
You have a
metaphors.
heartbeat, Karen.
Hey, what do I do with that information? I have a heartbeat. Sick. Cool.
Yeah.
This is news to Shelley.
Yeah,
I
thank
can't.
you.
I can't hear it. I don't know what that means.
Do I know what that means?
What does it mean?
Shelley, when she says she has a heartbeat, the only thing it can mean to you, at least when you're thinking about it right now, is that she would be a thin blood, which is somebody,
Bad.
some sort of abomination halfway between human and kindred.
Do I
Now you're
remember that some of my gross friends from the olden days seem to have something with thin bloods? Do I remember that? At least?
Everyone sort of just hates thin bloods. Generally, as a
all right.
rule.
So it's a bad sign. It's just a bad sign.
Well, that's if this is the case.
Yeah.
Max is basing this on the fact that the La Sombra told her that Karen has a heartbeat.
And the fact that Laurel
Everyone just confirmed that.
a bit weird.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right, what do,
Yeah.
Someone fucking explain it to her, please.
I don't understand. Like,
You shouldn't have one of those.
this is my sire, and you've been looking for him. And
Listen,
what does a
Karen.
heartbeat have to do with anything?
Okay, she's just going to keep talking. If you're not interested in listening, then there's nothing I can tell you.
No, I want to listen, but you won't tell me anything.
You have to
Just
be
talk to me, please.
No,
Laurel,
you don't know what
Yeah.
you are.
now that you're well fed,
Mm.
and there's a bit of tension in the group,
Yeah.
you are aware that there's a somewhat grisly but fairly viable option for finding out a little bit more about
Yeah.
Karen's whole situation. And now that you're well fed, it's
Yeah.
probably a safer thing than it was earlier. Whether or not now is the
Mhm.
time you'd like to bring it up is up to you.
How frustrated is Max looking at the moment? Like,
I don't know, Max, how
because
frustrated?
this has been going for a little bit, this conflict between the
Very.
two of them. Very. Okay. All right.
Max
cool.
looks like she's about to give Victor a call.
And
Okay,
she's bleeding
alright.
from her face, right?
Yeah, from the crown
Okay.
of thorns.
She's also
Okay.
sheeting, like her face is just a sheet of blood by now.
Okay. I'm going to collect
think this-
myself as much as I can and stagger over to Max. I guess I'm just still blood all over my mouth. I'm gonna wipe my mouth back of my hand and I go, okay, look, this heartbeat thing is fucked, but we can find out if she's a thin blood or not.
That was
I
right.
can
What is
sort
it?
this out right now if you like.
Yes, please. Karen.
What are you talking about?
A thin blood means that you don't necessarily have a clan like the rest of us. It means you're something between kind and kindred, something between a mortal and a kindred. And if you shouldn't have existed before, you really shouldn't exist now. So what I would suggest
feel like
is that you get a lid on that temper of yours. And if you've got the urge to whinge about it, maybe don't. Because
I'm sorry for
One
whinging
call-
about something that's completely changed my life or lack
Oh
thereof,
God,
apparently.
Karen, please, darling, please just let
Just
Max
call
talk
me
for a
back.
bit, please.
because
Fine.
Because at this stage, I'm wondering if it's not better for all of us if I just let the rest of the Camarilla know exactly what you are. And if I do that, I might be able to save. We don't know exactly what you are, but we've gone to a lot of trouble to find out, and you've been very ungrateful about all of it.
Well, I'm sorry for also helping you.
Okay,
My
let's not start this again, please. I can Karen, darling,
Yes.
why don't we put this whole thin blood affair to rest right now? Okay, that would be better for all of us, right? No need to alarm everyone else if she's not a thin blood. We don't want to freak anyone out. Okay. Karen, darling, I just need a tiny bit of your blood, just a tiny bit, tiny bit.
I don't mind if you need to feed from me, but could you please tell me what a thin blood is first? I don't know what you're talking about.
You were you were something between a kindred and a mortal, and it should not exist. It's basically an abomination. And
what does that mean for me?
it means that as much as all of us, except Shelley, who seems to just be here for shits and gigs.
I'm going through Joseph's pockets right now, by the way.
She seems like
okay. I'll circle back to that in a moment, Shelley.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Listen, Laurel and I have put our necks out for you quite literally immediately. As we explained to you already in the park, the fact that you were created without anybody's permission meant that we had every right to kill you on sight.
But you didn't, because I helped you.
I didn't. No, that wasn't why we didn't. We didn't because we have a degree of respect for kindred in general, and if I can avoid it, I would rather not kill one. However, and this is why I mentioned the trolley problem, Karen, if the existence of one kindred threatens kindred society as a whole, I am always going to pull that fucking lever. Don't make me put you on the tracks.
Matt, I'm pretty strong. I'm not stupid. If I'm a thin blood, what will you do to me?
I'll tell Victor. And then it won't matter what you do to me or anybody else in this room.
So why don't I just leave now?
You don't know what he original is.
What would you do?
And as I said, I don't want to, Karen. I want to keep you alive. I get that you can't fucking stand me, that you've decided you're not going to listen to a word that I say, regardless if it's the exact same words that other people have said.
I like you, and I like that you're a vampire, and that I can, to some degree, trust you. But if this is it, and if this is true about me, why should I stay? If you were me, what would you do? Truly, don't lie to me.
Keep quiet and hope that you are useful enough to survive.
So I just get to sit here with the family, hoping that I'm useful enough to survive. Is that what you're telling me?
Also, until we figure this out, yeah. There's a thing called a blood hunt, okay? And that is something that none of us here can control. If that gets called down on you, which it could. And
Max, I want to trust you. Max, I want to trust you. You have to give me a reason.
I've been giving you so many answers. She doesn't want to, and I'm going to turn to Laurel. She doesn't want to listen to me. I said the exact same words that you said, that Shelley said. She's decided for whatever reason, maybe it's the way I look. In fact, it's almost certainly, looks back over at the Instagram model. It's almost certainly the way
And then Karen's going to look straight at Max and hear her saying this, be like, it's nothing to do with how you look.
Okay, please.
Trust you.
You've got a handle on her. I'm not going to tell her right now.
Thank you.
Look, me and Laurel have a relationship. But Max,
okay.
Why do I trust you?
Karen, it's fine. Look, babes, I'll deal with you. Max will just... Max is being Max. Look, it's you and I will take Karen's hand. You and I have an understanding, right? Okay? Yeah. Don't worry about Max for now. I meant what I said when we were hanging out yesterday. Okay, I'll try my best to help you, but please, you just need to not pick a fight with Max for the both of us, okay? And for everything else. Please. Okay?
Look, okay, Laurel, I trust you. I will let you. And then Karen's going to look at Max and be like,
Max is gone. She's out of the room.
She's gone. She's gone.
And then in that case, Karen will happily tell it to Laurel. It's like, I want to trust her. I want to be part of this. I I don't have a reason to. Like, I trust you and I want to be part of this. I just can't endanger everything that I have.
Karen, I think you've got about maybe 3 good reasons to just do what Max is saying. And I look at Karen very meaningfully. At least 3 good reasons to just, maybe take Max's suggestions on board. We'll listen, we'll learn, we'll talk less, maybe. Try and digest everything that Max is teaching you, because you do have a lot of reasons, darling. And I've met them. Okay? Please.
Shelley, his pockets are pretty much empty. You do find a folded piece of notebook paper.
What does it say?
The first thing you notice is that despite having no memory of seeing this before, it's in your handwriting.
Oh, good.
It's actually just 3 letters.
Okay. What are they? Just write them down.
DHT.
Oh, yeah. I'm not getting any bells ringing about that at all.
Maybe what the letters mean, but you don't remember writing this note.
Yeah. Look, I'm going to let this little drama play out.
While you internalize that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I won't tell anyone about the note.
Loral and Max, just to confirm, whereabouts have you gone back downstairs?
I'm going out to the alley to find a drunk to, bash his head against the wall a couple of times.
Okay, so you're completely out of the room while the following occurs. All right, so Laurel, for all this conversation, you do have a way. You've mentioned it to Karen. This should give you, if nothing else, it's unlikely it'll give you her clan, but you'll definitely know whether or not she is a thin blood.
She's a thin blood. Yeah.
Will this help you, Laurel? Will this, even if this thing is true and I can't exist, will this help you?
It's best to think of this as a package deal that we've got going. Whatever helps me will help you. Okay, so yes, it would help me to know, and it would probably get Max off your back if the best case scenario is that you're not a thin blood, right? We don't want to alarm
Okay, but
anyone.
worst case scenario, I am.
Yeah, what are you going to do if she is?
Will you promise me something?
Oh God, what?
Will you make sure my family is safe?
Oh fuck!
I will not let you, and I am stronger than you, Laurel, unless you promise me.
Wait, hang on. Just to clarify, Shelley is still here.
Oh, Shelley's hearing all of this.
Oh, great, cool, lovely. And Karen's just fine. Karen's just saying this. Fine.
Yeah,
no.
I'm saying it.
Oh, fuck me.
Laurel, if you promise me, I will let you. But if you don't, I will run and I will hurt you.
Okay, don't run. Let's not do that. Let's avoid that completely. I will look after whatever you need me to.
Good.
To look
I'm
after.
stronger than you, and I need you to.
I'll look after whatever you need me to look after. Whatever you need to look after. And I'm like looking like kind of like, let's not fucking talk about family shit in front of this person.
I'm just giggling to myself. It's probably not.
Karen is just at this point is just sort of like, this is it. Like if she's found out and she's killed, that's kind of like it for her. So if Laurel will make the promise, Karen will let her feed.
Yeah. So I've promised to Karen that I will look after whatever she's asked me to look after in undeath if something happens to her. I've left look after quite vague. I've not committed to anything really, but
All right. So how are we taking this blood?
Is Karen how on board with this is Karen? Is she going to take initiative and offer me some? Or
Karen is going to ask that Laurel holds her hand and will then let Laurel decide how she would like to feed.
Wholesome.
So much hand holding. This is
I'm very new and I'm very scared, right?
Oh God. Okay. All right. So I'm going to hold Karen's hand, I guess, and I'm going to like gently stroke like the top of her hand with my thumb in like what I hope is a reassuring way. bearing in mind that I'm covered in Joseph's blood probably still, and it's just kind of everywhere, and it's not probably the most reassuring sight, but I'm going to gently kind of stroke my thumb across the top of her hand in a reassuring way. And then I'm going to, I see she's got her forearms bare, so I'm going to bring her arm up to my mouth, and I'm going to just have a little nibble. Small nibble.
Have a little nibble.
Yeah.
And as you taste her blood, can you please make a roll of resolve plus blood potency? Now remember, because your blood potency is on your second sheet under other, you'll have to click the little plus next to that before you go back to your first sheet and double click the black die next to resolve.
Okay, so I've just clicked the plus on blood sorcery, and I'm going to go back to main and double click the die on resolve, right?
Yeah, that should roll your dice pool. 4 successes.
Cool.
So as the blood touches your tongue, the first thing you know is that no, Karen is not a thin blood.
Okay, good.
But then you fall back because you wanted to stop yourself from taking more blood than you could. So you step back almost involuntarily, your mouth still filled with her blood.
Yeah.
And you're staring at your surrogate child as you swallow this blood. Because this can't be right, because it is the oldest blood you've ever tasted.
Oh no.
From what you learn from drinking this blood is that Karen, while you, Laurel, are of the 13th generation, while Max is of the 12th, Shelley's unknown but relatively young, Karen is of the 9th generation.
Oh my god.
It can't be possible.
It cannot be, right? So whether or not Laurel shares this information immediately, but what she hasn't been able to hide is her initial reaction.
Yeah, okay. So I've sort of like staggered backwards, I guess. And as I'm swallowing, I'm looking at Karen. I look freaked out.
Just a brief pause. Just a brief pause. Shelley, could you make me a wits and awareness roll, please?
Yeah.
Whoa. Okay. We'll circle back to that in a moment. But you notice something on Joseph's body that we'll worry about in a moment. Anyway, Laurel, Karen, Max, you find somebody outside. They're very unfortunate. Could you make a resolve and composure roll for me, please?
I don't have a lot of that.
Perhaps not for you, but for this guy.
What do I do? Resolve and composure.
Yes, please.
Okay.
Oh, messy critical. Okay. So you don't kill this guy, but you hurt him real bad.
I'm having a bad day. I don't like the idea of, you know what, violent person, but the whole thing is to keep the peace and make sure that Kindred Society continues. And
so what I'm going to do is I'm going to award you a stain against your humanity, because this is a messy feed. Even though you don't kill this guy, normally feeding would create a sense of euphoric pleasantness. You make it hurt.
Yeah.
And I've reduced your hunger to 2, but you were just a little bit. You were a little bit torturous with him, but you are now feeling much more yourself. You've stopped bleeding from your stigmata wounds, and you are free, if you would like, to begin making your way back inside.
I'm gonna obviously wipe myself off and get rid of as much blood as I can.
Luckily, you do cover yourself in black clothing, so you're pretty safe in that regard.
It's mostly just the face, the face and the hands, because I was bleeding for a while there. So it's probably a great deal of
back
blood.
upstairs. Shelley, what you've noticed is that there's something about the coloration of Joseph's face. It seems that, like, his neckline and his hairline, like the skin has got a darker pasture to it than the rest of his face. You've been a vampire for a while. What it tells you is that his face skin is fresher than the rest of his skin.
Yeah, man.
Okay.
I'm gonna just mention this to be like, ladies, I don't know if this is actually Joseph. I reckon he's wearing Joseph's face.
He's wearing Joseph's face?
That might sound a bit fucking ridiculous, but if you just draw your attention
does.
for 1 second to, his blend is not quite on point if you take my drift.
Yeah, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna peer over. I guess it looks like he's badly contoured. Then I suppose.
It does look like he's badly
bad
contoured. It doesn't look like he's got like a strap-on mask or anything. It definitely looks like his skin, but it looks like the skin on his face is fresher than he was.
Yeah, his face is much fresher than the rest of him.
After hearing this and after being fed on and after everything that's happened. And Karen doesn't know if she's a thin blood or not because Laurel hasn't said anything.
No. Oh, yeah.
All
go on.
Karen
What'd you find?
is that Laurel is freaking out. And that now everyone's paying attention to Joseph. And so she's just going to whip around, confused as fuck, and bark out, "Do you fucking recognize me?"
To Joseph? Was she talking to Joseph?
Oh, he's out.
Oh, he still hasn't been on stakes, I don't think.
Yeah,
in that case.
She can yell at him. It'll just be awkward.
Yeah.
He won't reply.
She'll happily yell. She will happily yell.
Max, you hear the yelling as you get to the top of the stairs and re-enter the room.
Max is
Laurel,
like, fuck.
Laurel, go on then. Share for the group.
2 minutes away from a meltdown. Heads up.
Share for the group. Go on. Tell us what you found.
Okay. Well, not a thin blood. Not a thin blood. So no one.
Okay,
no
so if not a thin blood, what am I? Because we've got clans, we've got Facebook groups, and I really thought this was going to end very badly for me. Please just say some words that I can understand. Please. Please.
You're not a thin blood. I can't tell you what clan you are. Okay? Like that's beyond my kin.
Right.
But
helpful.
You're safe for now.
Thin blood, that's good. This whole situation is safe. Okay, if I'm not a thin blood, what are the other bloods? What can I be?
Oh God. Okay, look, why don't we figure out what's happening here with Joseph, maybe, and then we'll table that.
Did I notice Laurel's kind of shock after the drinking of the blood or not?
How well are you trying to contain yourself, Laurel? If you'd like to make a resolve plus composure roll, just to give us an idea of how composed you are. That might help us answer Shelley's question.
Fucking, I'm great at those. great at those.
Oh, that's a lot of damage.
Whoa, yeah.
You
she's
killed it.
She might have had an initial sort of shock, but she seems quite well put together now, Shelley.
All right. I mean, yeah, just the general panic of the situation, I guess.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on.
Well, yeah. What are we going to do about old Two-Face over here then? Do you want to drink his blood too and find out who he is? Yeah, well, or just, let's not remove any more faces. Let's just, you've already done the thing, do it again.
Why would
Drink
we
his blood.
remove faces? What?
Drink his blood, find out who he really is. If that's a thing you can do.
Yes to the finding out. Question mark to the faces. What?
I mean, he's not going anywhere.
Yeah, he's really not.
Yeah, go on. Give it another spin. It's very entertaining.
Now, there's not a whole lot of blood left in this guy. That's the only problem, right? So
well, you already did. Is there any around your mouth?
Could we also consider?
I've still got his blood on my everywhere. I guess I just have to get a little bit on my tongue, right? So can I maybe?
Yeah. Will be it will be a little bit more difficult, but you can attempt it. Both because there's not a lot of blood left in his system, and also anything that you do, you can go down to his jugular where the hole is and just give it a little lick. But if you would like to make a resolve and blood sorcery roll.
Okay. You know what? Why not? I know that I'm speaking to two people that are, again, above my pay grade. And I'm an insufferable bootlicker, so I will do that. I will absolutely do that. So I take the blood sorcery thing and then
double click black dice resolve.
Great. Oh, fuck.
Very different. You could spend a point of willpower if you would like to re-roll up to 3 of those black die. But the difference is because you've got a 10 on one of your hunger die, so you do run the risk of having a messy critical if you re-roll, but that's up to you.
Fuck it.
Yeah.
So you remember how to spend willpower? Click the little SP button next to the willpower section.
Yeah. Okay, so I select all of them, right?
Yep, up to 3 black die. Yeah, and you will reroll
3
them.
black die? Okay.
There's that 10 we wanted.
Hey,
You succeed,
that's
but it
critical.
is a messy critical. So what's happening now, Laurel? Just yesterday evening, actually, you get that same urge, that compulsion to assert dominance over those around you. The information you now have about Joseph, again, you can't tell his clan. That tastes a little bit like Toreador blood. And he seems to be of the 11th generation, you're fairly certain. But also this fucking pissant child. Despite the fact you now know she's of a lower generation than you, she's still like all of 6 or 7 years old, essentially. And you must turn your next interaction, whatever it is, into a competition, and you must come out on top.
Great. Yep. Okay. That's fine. I accept that. Okay. I will share with the group when I'm done partaking, I suppose. So you said 11th generation, is that right?
Yeah, probably of the 11th generation. Yeah.
Okay. Right. Well, we're looking at probably 11th generation Toreador, maybe. Potentially. Well, it's what I've divined. I'm sorry, I don't.
If he's 11 Toreador, whatever that means, is that what I am?
He's not your sire. He's just wearing his face, love. Sorry to say.
What do you mean he's wearing his face?
You noticed the blend, right? I don't know.
Someone's ripped off your sire's face. Karen, someone's ripped off your sire's face, okay? They've ripped it off and they put it on this guy.
I need to lay down.
Yeah.
What do you mean you need to go lay down? Where are you laying down? We're not laying down.
Because this is not okay. This is not okay. What do you mean he's wearing someone else's face?
Your phone is ringing.
You really do. Karen. Okay, shit. You're doing a really bad job of explaining this to me, everyone. And then Karen's going to take her phone out of her pocket.
Oh my god.
No. Hello,
fuck.
Karen.
Hey, Mom, it's Marcus. How you doing?
Oh, babe, are you okay? Did you get the food that I left for you?
Hey, Mom, can you come home?
What's wrong, honey? I'm busy, but if it's really bad, I'll come.
You just need to come home right now, please.
Okay. I will do what I can to leave. Please message me if anything happens, and I'll let you know when I'm on my way. Okay? I'll get an Uber or something.
Can you come right now? Please.
Are you safe?
Yes.
Are you safe, babe?
I've called Dad, but he didn't answer. I just don't tell anyone. You just need to come right now, please.
Okay, fuck. All right. Okay, I love you.
I love you too.
I'm gonna do it.
And he's cut off. He's cut off, and the phone is hung up.
What a mess.
I need to go. Like now. I'm leaving. I'm really sorry. Fuck. Joseph is here. I have to go. I'm really sorry.
It's not Joseph anyway. Don't worry.
It's not Joseph anyway. It's where you go. Where are you going?
Karen has left.
Bye.
She just booked it.
She has walked out. She has physically left. She's gone.
Stamps past the others down the stairs.
Down the stairs. Out
leaving
on the
Max,
road,
Shelley, and Laurel alone.
Laurel, go.
Okay, yep, no, on it. Okay, I'm gonna pursue Karen. I have to pursue Karen. There's no way.
Max and Shelley, you're left alone upstairs with this staked.
All right, we need some information. We need some information from this lad because this is what a fucking load of bollocks, honestly. But you know what? He's not going anywhere. I reckon we should check upstairs before we wake him up.
Yeah, let's check upstairs and then take his other face off.
Yeah, I mean, do I remember the last time this happened, Brian?
You remember seeing
someone without a face?
No, you just remember the waiter again, and you're not sure why you're thinking about the waiter.
But when he was all like fresh, or not?
Yeah, like you just remember like when he came up to that you at the table, and these are just little snippets, and you know what you were saying about the face. He's wearing someone else's face. You know you're on the money. It's hard for you to exactly say why, because whoever it
It's
was
that Nicolas
back in the
Cage
90s
movie,
had
isn't
messed
it?
with your memory, messed with
Yeah,
your
it's the
brains.
Nicolas Cage movie. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly right.
That's all I've got. That's what I'm getting in my head. Yeah. Oh, look, yeah, he's not going anywhere. Let's go up. So.
We'll deal with him in a bit.
So you're heading upstairs.
Yeah.
Karen, you're back out in the alleyway, marching towards Little Burke Street. Laurel, you're in hot pursuit. Laurel,
I'm ordering an Uber as I'm walking. I'm literally just like Ubering. Unless I know how to break into Max's car.
Oh no! Don't do that. Don't do that.
You do not understand how desperate I am.
The Uber's only like a minute away. You're in the middle of the Melbourne CBD.
Fine.
You'll get an Uber very quickly.
It's fine. We're getting an Uber. We're going.
Yeah. And it'll meet you
what do you mean?
pretty much outside. So Laurel, you can catch up to her as she waits for the Uber.
I'm going to turn back and I'm going to look at Laurel because apparently I can sense vampires kindred.
Yeah.
I'm just going to be like, come or don't come, make your decision.
What are you doing? Where are you going?
Or don't come, make your decision. I'm going home.
Karen, I can't.
Enough. Come or don't come. I get into the Uber.
Fuck. Okay, fuck. I have to go. I feel like if I leave Karen alone, Max will hate me more. So I'm going with Karen. Going with fucking Karen. I'm going with Karen.
We're in the Uber to Turak, all right? We're going to Turak.
Shelley and Max, meanwhile, back inside, you're heading up to the third floor. This door is closed. Max, you immediately notice that this door, with your investigative sheriff eyes, has been installed more recently than when the building burned down.
A new door. Well then, what are you going to do about it? Fancy sheriff?
I'm going to try and... Well, is it unlocked? I mean, question one. Is it...
No, it's locked. It is locked.
Were there any keys in on mate's pockets downstairs? I did see Shelley going through them.
Yeah, no, mate. No keys. Nothing of interest.
Give it a... I guess I'll give it a shoulder. Give it a kick. Give it a kick.
Give it a strength and brawl roll. Let me just set the difficulty for you.
If this doesn't work, I'll figure out another way in. Not doing it. Again. There it goes.
Nice rolling here. 4 successes. So you easily hip and shoulder the door down.
Up kick.
Up kick.
Like just to
kick the door open. It is slightly less burned down up here. It's a very sort of musty smell. You do note, both of you note very quickly that the windows up here are actually being blacked out with garbage bags that have been taped over the windows themselves. It is very, very dark. Do either of you have the ability to see in near perfect dark?
I'm guessing that's an Auspex ability that I don't have. Is that the question?
Oh, well, no, there's a few different disciplines that allow you to see in the dark. Otherwise, I don't know, phones? You can use your phone.
Got me lighter.
Yeah.
I don't have a phone. Got me lighter then.
Just
all right, well, that's better than nothing.
I'll see any text from Laurel.
Speaking of which, Laurel and Karen in the Uber on the way to Turak. How's the energy?
Horrific. It's horrific. There's
the vibes.
The vibes are like every vibe check is failed. Like the vibes are bad in this Uber. There's fucking I don't know. Yeah, there's like Pitbull playing in the background. The driver's just like trying to make small talk with Karen because she looks, I guess, more friendly than Laurel, who is wearing mostly dark colors and potentially covered in blood as well. But the lighting's bad, so it's fine. I have texted Max, and I have told Max, tracking Karen, just trying to sort this out, and then that's basically it.
And Karen's in the front seat, just freaking the fuck out, just messaging constantly, just trying to make sure that everything's okay.
Yeah, I probably can hear the sound of like the iMessage going through, and each time I hear it, I'm
absolutely.
flinching.
And then like her response, like Karen messaging again and again.
I'm like flinching visibly because I don't know what the fuck don't know who she's texting, don't know why we're going back there. And every time I hear that sound, I'm flinching.
You're not getting any text responses, Karen.
I'm freaking out.
God.
I'm like 3 seconds away from a panic attack.
Oh God.
Laurel, you can hear that heartbeat again coming from Karen.
Oh no. Oh, please don't. Oh no. Oh no. This is not what I wanted. This is not the life. This is not the life I wanted for myself.
Karen's going to take the opportunity to turn around, because I'm assuming Karen's in the front seat because she ordered the Uber.
Yes.
And it's just going to like turn around and be like, you tasted me. What do you know about me? Because I'm not there with Joseph who made me, and I need to know now.
The Uber driver's really chill.
20 minutes. Oh, and I don't care. I'm saying this in front of the Uber driver. Like, there is no shit to give. I'm terrified, freaking out. What do you know about me? Laurel, talk to me, please. What is happening?
Okay. Oh God, I'm looking at the Uber driver and I can't.
He just doesn't know what's happening.
I can't handle this right now. Okay, I just immediately I'm gonna DM Karen. And just like, can we talk about this later, please? Once we're out of the fucking Uber, and I just like have like 3 angry emojis after I say
that's fine.
When we're out of the fucking Uber.
And I'm gonna reply to Laurel being like, fucking tell me now. We've got 20 minutes until we're in Turak. Do it, or I'll talk out loud. And they're going to follow up. I'll use the word vampire instead of kindred. Smirky face. Blinky, blinky.
No, this is the worst.
Back in the restaurant, Shelley and Max, I believe, using their phones to look around.
Your phone? I ain't got a phone.
Oh, you got a lighter, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Max is using the phone. It is very blacked out. There are sleeping bags.
Anna's using the flame and the camera is using the electronic, whatever.
There are sleeping bags up here. Shelley, you notice there is graffiti on the wall that stands out to you. Max, you notice the half-naked staked body of Terry Maldonado on the floor. But Shelley, you're distracted by the graffiti on the wall because there's a lot of other key words going on here that are striking up partial memories for you. The graffiti just says, Queen Mary lives.
Oh, yeah.
It's a bad.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, you found fucking Terry for you.
Oh, what?
How's that?
Look at that. There he is.
He's pretty atrophied. It looks like he's been here for a while. Like his skin's pretty dried up.
Oh, I really just want to stomp his head in real bad.
But
I figure with like this false Joseph situation and like all this weird shit on the walls and all this, I reckon we've got to get them both. Maybe interrogate them separately, see if their stories line up. And then I really want to stomp his head in real bad. You got to give me Terry. You can take Two-Face.
What did he actually? I mean, I know he's just generally a fuckhead, but
yeah, look, it was a long time ago. 90s are a bit of a blur. I just know he sold me out to our biggest threat at the time without a second thought. And then I gave him a chance to explain himself, and all he gave me was vague fuckery. I don't remember the details, but he never really excused himself, and then he ran away. And I managed to survive with no help from him. He's a stain, and really, can't really call himself an Anarch because he's a fucking worm. So I would like to have Terry, and you can have Two-Face if you'd like.
That works for me. I mean, we don't fucking want him.
Yeah. All right, let's do this. Let's have.
You ask him about actual Joseph though, because I still need to get that shit sorted out. Somebody is running around.
Yeah, that was the agreement, wasn't it? So yeah, I'll see what I can do.
Just ask him about it.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
It was what face Joseph might be wearing now, if he's got one at all.
Yeah, I'll do my best.
Yeah, thanks. Is there anything you want to know from I'll Mate downstairs? If we're doing
I guess what his last memory was before he went to sleep, like when that was, I guess.
Yeah.
And if he remembers having the same face.
I mean, you can unstake him and ask him, right? But yeah.
Well, we're going to do it separately so they can't like stories. Yeah.
Do we want to do them one at a time together?
Oh, we could do that.
Backup. I mean, Terry's Terry, but I don't know how. I mean, 11th. If guy downstairs is 11th, then
yeah,
that's
true.
Do it again, right? But
Yeah, that's true. Maybe we should not split up.
I don't think we should.
All right.
I'll just stand in the corner. I'll go real quiet and, spooky invisible shit. And
This would be interesting.
So
And if you need to give him
So we're removing someone's stake. Who are we doing?
Terry first.
You're going to remove
Terry
Terry's stake first.
Mm-hmm.
And who's removing the stake?
Oh, because he's going to be hungry, and he.
Maybe it's hard to say. I'm just curious. I'd like to know.
Can we I don't know. Can we restrain him in some other way?
You certainly can before you do it. It's a safe way of doing it. Yeah. Max, you always carry some zip ties on you for just this kind of situation.
Yeah. Obviously.
I'd like to also put him inside the sleeping bag and zip that right the way up. So zip tied, and he's a little cocoon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great. I'm going to remember that. That's really good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we've done that, and now I'm going to dislodge the stake enough so he wakes up from outside the sleeping bag. Just like...
He as soon as you pull the stake out, he sits up, has a huge intake of breath, and he just says, "Mr. Mirrodin, die in the fire." And back over at Turak, Karen, the Uber has arrived at the nearly at your home, only a couple of moments. Laurel, did you give any information in this passing time?
Did you?
I've been typing furiously and retyping, but I've refrained from providing a paper trail where I tell Karen via Instagram DM what kind of kindred she is.
So do you explain to her the meaning of the generational thing, or were you just being coy about that, or are you just trying to placate her for now?
I'm just trying to placate her for now because I don't want to say anything in front of this Uber driver who probably thinks that we're fucking or something.
Well, it's possible, Karen, that you might get more and more distracted the closer you get to home, because you've got a text from Marcus that says, "Please hurry."
Yeah, and I'm freaking out.
The Uber stops at the front of your house, which looks just as it did the night previous.
Yep. And it's the kind of thing where I didn't even think to get the Uber to stop a few streets over, I did last time when I came here, because I'm so genuinely distressed about my son that I'm just taking the Uber straight up. And at this point, Laurel probably knows where I live.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I definitely know where you live now.
Yeah. So
I'm going to thank the driver really, really quickly. And then as soon as the car pulls up, I'm gone. I'm opening the door, running as fast as I possibly can as a human or a vampire.
Laurel, are you keeping in tow, or what are you wanting to do as Karen flights towards the house?
Yeah, I'm following. I'm not out of my sight. Fuck that. I don't want to die. Everything.
Karen, the front door of the house is ajar.
I'll grab a hand.
Oh my god. Okay. All right. Great. Okay.
I'm very young and very scared, and I want to hold hands. All right.
Okay. I'm holding Karen's hand as she runs inside the house, I suppose. What are we greeted by? The door was ajar.
The door was ajar. The house seems very quiet. The hallway with the floor lights is just there as it was the night before. As you open, you hear Marcus's voice from the kitchen down the hall. "Mum? Is that you?"
Yeah, babe, bub, are you okay? Are you safe? And as soon as I hear his voice, I'm going to run towards it.
Okay, so you come into the kitchen. Marcus is sitting there with his back to the kitchen island. He is very, very still, and he's looking at you. He's red in the face, and he's got tears in his eyes because he's behind him, sitting on the kitchen island. So much so that Marcus is between his legs, as in he's got his legs and he's sitting on the kitchen island. Is Joseph?
Yeah, okay.
Joseph is sitting there, and he's looking at you and he's smiling, and he's caressing Marcus's face gently with his hands, and he's smiling at you. And Karen, I'm just so sorry I had to be away for a little while there. You must have so many questions. I've been speaking with Marcus. He's a very clever boy, your boy.
Oh. Karen's going to look dead in his eye and is going to be holding fucking Laurel's hand. And is going to be looking at her son and looking at Joseph. And she's just seen Joseph in two places, or understood that potentially Joseph is in a few places. But deep down, she understands that it's him. And she's just going to look at him and be like, "Oh, it is so nice to see you. won't you just come a little bit closer to me?
Yes, so he slides down off the kitchen island, hands on Marcus's shoulders, and just Marcus steps to the side as he gestures and pulls him away. And he walks towards you, and he's smiling deeply, and he's, it's just so good to see you after so long. I'm sorry that I had to go away.
Babe, you left me. Why did you leave me, babe?
It'll all be really clear very soon.
Just make it clear. You left me. I don't know what I am. I don't know why I'm here. Why are you here? And I'm still holding Laurel's hand, like death grip, Laurel, don't leave me, please.
He looks at Laurel. Who's this? I'm not sure why you've had to bring somebody else into our situation.
I didn't mean to bring her here. She's looking after me. I found her and she's like me, and you left, and I don't know what I am. And she said she would help, and you left me.
It's all part of it, Karen. As soon as I explain this to you, it's all part of a plan.
Then explain.
You play a very important role in it.
And I was
scared, you need to tell me now, though, if you want to involve this woman.
I'm already involved, mate.
You know what?
So whatever the fucking plan is, tell the both of us. Okay, I'm sick of this shit. I've been here all night.
You left me and she didn't. She stayed with me even when shit got weird. She got really fucking weird, Joseph.
Yeah, really fucking weird.
Stayed.
Yeah.
It did, right? It got fucking weird.
Yeah, it was really fucking weird. It was horrific, actually. And I'm still fucking here, so.
And she seems to care, and you left me. And I don't know why you're here with my son. And I really cared about you, and I don't understand what you have done to me.
That's all right. You're correct. I suppose, Karen, I haven't been...
What can you say?
I haven't been very honest with you either.
No, you haven't.
No.
And I loved you. I thought I did.
You have no idea how much I love you too. And he reaches out to take your hand.
Oh my God.
I'll give him the hand that's not holding Laurel's.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna hold both.
This is the weirdest fucking follicule I've been in ever. All right, can we hurry the fuck on with this, please?
I'll hold each of their hands. I'm looking at Joseph like I want to trust him, like Karen wants to trust him. But she's scared now. She's genuinely scared.
Karen, I haven't been honest with you at all, really.
No, you haven't.
No, I haven't.
You turned me, and now I'm what? A vampire? A kindred?
You're not. You're so much more than that, Karen.
What do you fucking mean, mate? Spit it out.
You are Karen Jones.
What do you mean I'm more?
My childer of Clan
Yeah, you're a
Smeetsy.
childer, and all these people are asking if I'm a thin blood, saying that I'm
You are
going
not.
to die.
You're of Clan Smeetsy, the oldest clan.
But I don't even know what that means.
It means that, well, he puts his hand across his face and just tears his face off. And suddenly from the top of his head grows this scraggly crown with spines on it, and from his chin come out these other little bony things. And he leans forward.
Great. Okay.
Fuck no.
I think I just haven't been particularly honest with you.
Fuck
And that's where we're going to leave episode 3.
God!
A Faceless
Can't believe this.
No!
Oh,
Can't believe this is the worst threesome ever. The worst threesome ever. Okay? Oh my God.
That's just rude. Why would you do that? That's so rude. That's so rude. No!
Excellent. So, where can everybody be found if they want to be? Starting with Laurel. Your real name is.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Ginny. I play Laurel. When I'm not busy being traumatized on the stream. You can find me on Twitter and every other social media platform as @GinnyWars. Fucking that's me recovering right now. Yeah.
Fine.
Mm-hmm.
And Max?
Yeah. Hi, I'm Alex. You can find me here next week, and you better fucking tune in because what the fuck?
Yeah.
Christ, what the fuck?
Yeah, I'm losing it.
Shelley?
Losing it. Have another drink.
Yeah, I've got a lore question, I guess, or just a World of Darkness question. How do you pronounce? Was it Sumitsu? How did you pronounce?
Zamitsi.
Okay.
This is a very
I've always
hotly
wanted to know.
contested topic.
Yeah, right.
I just want to confirm for everybody that regardless of
Yeah.
what anyone has ever said in the past, it is not pronounced Shimashe. And you can find me on Twitter @BW Holland, and you can
Don't at
fight me.
me.
Freaky Leaky Deaky Zamitsi. Not
Okay, good to know.
Shimashe.
Shimashe.
It's
I
like
thought it was
tzatziki.
Tamiz for some reason.
the
But yeah,
dip.
okay, cool.
Zamitsi.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, it explains the Greek restaurant, actually. Explains a lot. Yeah, so I'm Sophie. You can find me on Twitter @Sophie Rosettii, and yeah, I'll be here next week and reposting the rest of the shit. That's all I do is retweet. So.
And Karen?
I'm sorry, I'm just still I'm reeling. I had no idea what clan I was, and this is real.
Are you excited to grow your own flesh crown? You must be.
No.
I mean, look, like it sounds like a good time. I just am a bit shooketh. I just came here to play a soccer mum, and shit's gotten real. Hi, I am @Lowgren on Twitter. I talk about writing for games and random shit, and I talk about my dog a lot. And this has been a really sick vampire campaign. I've been playing vampire since I was like 14, and Changeling and a whole bunch of like all those old systems, and it's been super cool to play this, and shit's getting real and it's really sick, and I hope that you're all having fun because I purposely didn't Google what clan I could potentially be so that it was going to be exciting for everyone involved. So I hope this has been fun for you all.
Mm-hmm. Perhaps that's why your
Holy
fingers
shit.
were bending the wrong way while you were sleeping. Perhaps some of your
Makes so much
vicissitude
sense now, and
powers
that's
were
why
coming out early.
all of my disciplines make sense. It's just one of those things that it's like, I really thought I might be a thin blood and be killed off. Like I was ready for anything.
So
I
once
was
again,
ready. I was happy.
thank you to the people who make Fantasy Grounds and put that together for us. It's an excellent tool if you're wanting to play World of Darkness or V5 at home. Thank you to Be Bravo for doing these excellent overlays. Next week you can catch us here. We will be joined by guest player, my friend and playtesting partner Rose Katich will be joining us. She'll be
Yes, I love Rose.
she will be taking on the role of Tragic
Queen Mary?
Friday's sister.
Oh,
Holy
sister.
shit.
Holy shit. I'm so fucking excited.
Oh, good. Hell
And,
yeah.
Oh my god.
Until next week, wherever you are, please sleep soundly.
Thanks, team.
Bye.
Thank you.
Oh my God.